I'm back. I got some tea and some string cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and eat that so my stomach stops growling. I'll get to some music, though. Nova Girl and then Cheer. Also, you're fine, Kirby. I appreciate people asking politely. I always appreciate people asking politely, because I know my voice is weird, and it's hard to tell sometimes. I will happily take people politely asking over people just assuming. Oh, God! Soseki, please. Or are you not Soseki again? Are you a cat right now? Cheese heals all wounds, it's true. I'm not eating the soap. That'll just make me even sadder. Or kill me. Meow! This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo. You ordered some pizza pump. If I felt like if I had the money / felt like paying money to a delivery guy on top of it to get food right now, I would probably order something to cheer me up. But I'm good. I had the other half of that sub earlier. I can deal with just some cheese. Time to put an end to this shit. So the miserable curse that's been plaguing Mr. Natsume to everything. Also, I was thinking about JC. I think it was JC who said, "Don't be a Shuichi." I will be a Shuichi. Considering that line of dialogue is one of the few good things in that last trial about how fiction can still matter and everything. Just a shame it took fucking 4 hours and a bunch of other bullshit to get to it. No, I'll be Shuichi in that regard. I won't be him in any other regard because he's a bad main character. But I'll give him that one. But I was thinking about Danganronpa V3 because of it. You ever realize that, obviously the basic premise even, but you ever realize that even the ending, like the actual ending of V3 even, is a direct ripoff of The Truman Show? Like, it's literally like the exact same kind of shot. Just like the semen reality or whatever. Fucking bullshit. Kodaka's a fucking hack. In my own small way, I do everything I can to help you. You mean movie? You're good. When it's called The Truman Show, I forget a lot of the time too, Kirby. I used to call it a show back in the day, and before I watched it. Always appreciate your help, Mrs. Sato. Suffering, Soseki, selfishly sidelined. Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. Good morning! Good morning! It's great to stay up late. Good morning! Good morning to you, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Coon! Listen to you two chatting away happily as the main player of today's trial. Listen here! Why would you do that? Why? Oh yeah, Noodle, I heard about the shitty Sonic port. Yeah, sorry to hear that. Oh, did I use someone about an amazing Shamspear shitpost video? I think I should watch when this case is done? Sure. Well, if it'll cheer me up, sure. Because I'm fine right now. But if this is gonna go how I think it's gonna go, I'm about to cry even harder by the end of this. It's unplayable, goddamn. Didn't mean to cause French, Mr. Natsume. Just thought perhaps you had your eyes shut so tightly you were meditating, finding your inner calm and all that. Seemed wrong to disturb you. I was waiting! What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally, that's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. Can I have some? Path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own death. There's such life. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. I never would have called that. I'm afraid somehow. You have to forgive me. You mustn't talk of your path leading to death, Mr. Natsume. That was just an example! Oh, yes. There it is. Inner calm. You are just the master of Zen right now. You barely came to see me at all yesterday! I was sure you'd abandon me and return to our beautiful long-lost homeland! We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet. Yeah, well, anyway. I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. I've actually reached an important decision myself. This person just collecting shit games. Balan Cyberpunk. Oh man. What's your decision? I shall think you after the trial. Welcome back, JC. I got some fucking string cheese. It's very good. It heals my broken soul. Not really. I'm still dying inside, but it's all good. Alright. It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits. It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again. The great detective, my arch nemesis! Long may he stay away, if you ask me. Defendant and your legal representative, the trial's about to begin. Make your way to the courtroom immediately. Okay, once again, we'll face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. I don't believe in any legends any more than I believe in Soseki-san's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. Have to keep believing my client and keep fighting to the very end. That's all. I'm actually scared. Because even though I think I figured out the exact why of how this happened, of what happened, I'm still not 100% clear on the how. Like, I don't understand how certain things were being done with the gas to cause all this nonsense. So hopefully the game can spoon Phoebe. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. All upon the counsel for the prosecution and defense declare a willingness to proceed. I got string cheese too. The prosecution is ready. Yes, the defense is ready. Very good. I now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Chosen by lot to represent the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? That is bullshit. That is bullshit. This jury is biased, and so are you. You're not. Chosen by lot, like the lottery. Yeah, that's what he just implied. Yes. These people were chosen purely by chance. Purely. Pure happenstance, I'm sure. Absolutely. Justice will be done. You mock my words. I feel obliged to say I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is just sitting right. Oh, well, I wonder if you could adjust my hat for me then. And please, be as ruthless as you'd like. This man gets pegged. Good for him. Good for him. Fan translation Jumper 3. I wish I could be under Von Zeke's heel. Really? What an open-minded man. Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me, especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for the man at all. Speaking of impartial juries. Look, I said it yesterday, I'll say it again now. I don't got time for this. I got my own problems. May the Lord show us all the light here. Lead his flock of righteous verdict and bless me with your gift of light, righteous cause and judgment night. I am the storm that is approaching, provoking black clouds in isolation. I think you kind of mixed up at least 2 different songs there. Now, Lord Von Zeeks, what can you tell us? I think jury number 4 likes us. That's fine, I like her too. The prosecution report, please, for the court. in relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea. I was gonna say, yeah, was jury duty, like, absolutely mandatory back then? You couldn't call out of it if you had prior commitments? These days, you can get out of jury these days you can get out of jury duty if you have, like, legitimate excuses. I guess maybe back in the 1800s you couldn't. Man, days missed 3 days of work in a row. Like, right? That's so fucked up. Unintended byproduct of how shitty this is, like I said. They try to justify it because it's the same client, but, like, they should have... If they had to recycle models, they should have recycled them from an earlier trial. McGildens or whatever. So he does have the results. The original text, jury number 3 was asking jury number 2 to step on him, but Scarlet misunderstood and wrote as if he was addressing Von Zeeks. I was gonna say, I kind of wondered. I wonder, like, I thought about asking, was that a mistranslation, or was the original other line different? I kind of figured, like, what happened was maybe the lady said something about squashing him under her heel, and then and then he would say, I want to be under Von Zeek's heel. But no, it was just a mistranslation. Okay, that's less funny. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the blackguard in the dock. You got a thing for the color black, don't you? Pray allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. I don't believe so, JC. Considering that they felt the need to point out the fact that they got the same jury back deliberately, I'm guessing it was not a normal occurrence. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. To be fair, a lot of people To be fair, a lot of people say "step on me." I asked Von Zeeks to step on me in the first game. And I'm from the future, apparently. There was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in the depression on top of it. Yes, that's the tea, sis! That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him that night. Well, the brains at the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right. It was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it. Not even soap? That's sus. No poison at all? In other words, the tea that had been bought with the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear. What a revelation! As I suspected. This makes it quite clear.
Objection!
Defendant used the... My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction. What? Yes, it's true no poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But, what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the thermos and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty? Famous. Maybe famous, I don't know. Posted a screenshot in live stream chat. Sick. My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, Council. God. Good for juror number 3. Good for him. Exactly. Unfit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shapspeare, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand. Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's request. Mr. Shapspeare, Yeah, sounds like we're gonna have another confrontation with our theatrical friend.
Bailiff, show Mr. Shakespeare to the stand.
I'm gonna break your fucking kneecaps. Slit his goddamn tendons open. Pry his fucking mouth open. And individually rip every single tooth out bit by bit. And then shove him back down his goddamn throat. I'm gonna make you eat your own teeth. You clown-ass motherfucker.
Mr. William Shakespeare, the victim of this despicable crime.
Oh, heaven, oh, hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shakespeare, did have a bellyful of the foul fluid given in mine innocence.
Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we perhaps have been led to believe. By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing from the gas company's supply, yes.
One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shakespeare, did have a room full of sweet fuel given.
That's right, Theo Jonas, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief.
I haven't forgotten. Kept all that about the acid tight a secret, didn't you? You should have owned up sooner.
Arrest him, I say! Arrest him at once and let him feel the sting in my tail!
Oh, indeed! By dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted for mine own ends, I confess! Thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I am sure.
Her name is Lady Quimby. Get it? Queen Bee? If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here?
Cowards die many times before their deaths! And for a coward such as I, death be well deserved! But would that still be a greater crime passes unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of far distant Verona did contrive to poison me!
Objection!
What's she gonna do with that parasol? I don't know, but whatever she's planning to do with it, I guarantee I can do worse to him with it. There was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that.
What difference? What the defense would assert is an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony.
Oh, really, Noodle? People are making it worse? People are actually faking glitches to make it seem worse than it is? Goddamn, I was gonna say, the situation seems to have escalated since yesterday. I was gonna say, there are definitely some real issues. Because otherwise it wouldn't have even started, but yeah, that sucks. Just blowing it out of proportion.
Is that not so, Mr. Assface?
Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak.
Exactly, yeah, it's still something that's bad enough to be legit that Nintendo gives out refunds, because that never happens.
Very well, let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. Tell the court why it is that poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea. This I gotta hear. Get my popcorn.
Imagine Nintendo actually giving back money.
The Japanese man did come to my chamber with the tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning destruction and automate, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus, 'tis no surprise the poison not be found in the tea I did pour into the bowls of soup.
We know that's bullshit. We know you had yours still. He drank all of his instantly.
The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for a poison to be administered, in my experience.
Yeah, Nintendo, yeah, they did refund the money for TMS, yes. That wasn't because the game was glitchy, though. It was because so many people were complaining about the censorship. All the problems can be fixed with patches. Seeing this again, Sega will still not learn. I was gonna say, yeah, it's more, like, they can definitely, it's definitely fixable. It's nothing that major. But yeah, it's more the fact that Sonic Team is just still shitting the bed that hard. that they're releasing games in that condition. Even ports. That's not good.
Quite, otherwise it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance.
But no poison bottle was found at the scene.
Because, quite simply, the police took the bottle back to his own room.
Have we not searched that room? Are y'all that incompetent? I was gonna say, I think I think this seems pretty easy to disprove. I was gonna say no pressing here, I don't think.
Absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide.
I knew that. Oh, is this a real video? Let's see. Oh my god. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
By now, it should be perfectly clear a bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands.
Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspeare, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause. I have naught to lose.
Other than just being a fucking asshole?
Well, I do declare. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
Oh, it's made of rubber. It's made of rubber. I'm gonna shove that down his throat, too, when we're all done with this.
Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. You would think with my reputation and the jokes I made about this man, I would be threatening to shove things up his ass, but no. He'd enjoy that. I'm not gonna let him enjoy anything ever again. Yeah, we know that's bullshit, sir.
Objection.
You claim Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of the tea on the night in question. But that is bullshit blazing!
How, Choplotic! What is this, ye duck, ye clad fiend?
Could he have been any flimsier about it? Like, come on, brah. The two cups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant. I'm not pressing this man unless I absolutely have to. I don't want to hear a goddamn word out of his mouth, other than the croaks of his last dying breath. Have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof.
Incontrovertible? What difference?
Look at the inside of the cups. Just here, there's a very clearly visible ring.
Yes, a tea ring, commonplace enough.
Oh, no, Fusion. He's never gonna dance again. His guilty feet have got no rhythm. Because I broke them in 5 different places.
Indeed, such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in a cup for a while.
And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring.
Good lord, man, you're right. It's completely clean.
And pray, sir, what masks thou of it?
Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted.
Drank tea while it's hot.
That's right. Yes, the jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. Close your mouth, honey. A fly might get in there. I don't want that to be what kills you. That's too dignified for you. If these violent, gruesome depictions of me wanting to hurt this man in grievous ways are too much for anyone's sensible sensibilities, please feel free to let me know, so I can ignore them and keep doing it anyway. I hate this fucker. I hate him. I don't fucking care that his brother died. Too good for him, I say. If, as he claimed in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, A ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well after the several hours that he was left standing.
Bottom!
In short, Mr. Shamspear, you clearly lied to the court.
Get thee to another!
Objection!
As a rule, I fill my hollow chalice up to 7 times during any one trial.
Wonder if he actually has fans. I fucking wonder. Oh god, do I hate him more than the Queen? That's a good question. Again, the Queen was at least a good villain. The Queen was at least a good character in 3 out of 4 routes. Maybe 2.5. She was a good character as a villain. So you know what? Maybe. Might want to keep that info to yourself, Chief.
Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry.
Your drinking habits are fascinating. I will make note of them for our future anniversary plans, but irrelevant.
On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shakespeare.
Yes, my liege!
Are they gonna try to argue that the cups were the opposite? That, Fuckface's was the green one and not, and, Siseki's was red? I'm guessing that's where this is going.
Though you previously stated you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused cup, could it be you were perhaps mistaken? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? A fact that had vanished from your memory until now.
Faith, my liege, thou art a magician! For verily, 'tis as though I had seen with my own eyes that night!
Oh, no, oh, you're gonna try and claim they left the kettle there. Okay. Fucker.
What? Forsooth I was mistook!
The very same queen that caused a massive war that killed classmates for all the cause of another race that never had anything to do with her trauma? I don't know. Don't get me wrong, she's still a clown. I'm not denying her clownliness. But however stupid her reasons may have been, she thought she was doing the right thing. That's something to keep in mind. She's a fucking idiot for thinking she was doing the right thing. But in her deluded, clanny little head, she genuinely thought she was doing this for the good of the world, right? I'll stop this war the only way I know how, with more war and violence. Like, it's stupid, but she did think she was doing good. This man has almost certainly ruined a goddamn woman's life because he wanted some fucking treasure. That may or may not have even been real, because Natsume's lived there, Duncan lived there. Maybe he did something with it. Soseki clearly hasn't found anything. This guy's a fucking crook who's just doing stuff because, oh, money good! He's a Scooby-Doo villain. I'm not praising her. I am not praising her. I'm just saying. What's better? Is it better to just be a complete fuck? Selfishness versus selflessness? Exactly. Yeah, again, very stupid selflessness, and selflessness in air quotes, on Edelclan's part, but I'm just saying, pick your poison.
I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty! And thus I did use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection!
It's like looking at a piece of shit. It's looking at a piece of shit versus looking at a piece of shit with a piece of shit with corn in it. It's like, what do I fucking say? They're both pieces of shit. Oh no, that one's got corn in it. I guess that makes that one nicer? I don't fucking know. And you've just suddenly conveniently remembered now that you made this mistake. Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection!
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things of note. Firstly, that poison was put into the victim's teacup only.
I'm gonna say this too. Okay. Let's say this treasure was actually real. Let's assume this treasure was real. He goes to this apartment. He wants that specific room to try and find it or whatever. When the world is clearly this stacked against you, trying to get to it, if you had even a fraction of a brain cell at that point, would the smart thing to do not be to just, you know, go over to your fucking neighbor's house, explain the situation, and ask to look around, and then maybe worst case scenario split it with him? Like $20,000 equivalent for today's, that's still a lot of money, brah. No, you had to have the whole thing. You had to have the whole goddamn thing. And so you killed a man. Fuck off.
Firstly, the poison was put into a victim's teacup only. And secondly, that this spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that had bewitched this court.
Or break in when they leave, yeah, right? Just good God, so many better options than to kill somebody to try and be able to move into the room.
Prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts.
No, it's all for me! I must have all the money!
In other words...
I forget if I read that first part or not. Never.
The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist.
No!
What does this mean, then? I do declare. Means there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony.
Apart from being gas thieves, obviously.
My warlords, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear. After I did dine at Grub's Grub Royale house that night, not did pass my lips, but the black tea given to me by the Japanese whose back piece slipped as low as death.
And on what did you dine, sir?
Why, I did partake in one of my favorites. A broth would be called soup and a leaf would be called salad.
And it's a Bulius menu as to the establishment where it was served.
But you gods will give us some thoughts to make us men. Willingly would I suffer that punishment to seem to serve a wicked thief of gas. But I pray you, as noble follows, never forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this another. Jurors all, your humble servant Shamsphere doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord!
Who?
My lord! If I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman? I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer.
That's all it takes to sway you. He gets a fucking idea from his fucking... from the fucking prosecutor, and you all... Oh my god. Brain holes out. By me? Chat, brain holes if you got him. And if you don't got him, get him. It's September. It's the best time to get brain holes.
I do declare you may be right.
We all know the wife here was making coins of ice to keep himself warm. But this lawyer lad says if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been leading us up the god path. That's what he's been doing. I really never said anything like that.
By what we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time. And we won't be swayed from it. Unless, of course, you should conveniently pit us together against each other in some way to change our minds. But what are the odds of that happening? Court acknowledges your position, Foreman. I wonder what you're gonna say.
Wait, no, you can't.
serious. Ladies and jury, will state your decisions now.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Oh, I'm sure we're supposed to be amused by him, Jet, yeah. I'm sure we're supposed to. I'm just done. I laughed at him enough yesterday. The next time I laugh at this man, like I said, be as he croaks his last breath. Even the gas lady. Even the gas lady. Like, fuck off.
I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord.
Ah, happy day! How is this happening? Why is this happening? You think he's supposed to be irritating? Are we supposed to hate him? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out its emancipation proclamation.
You keep mixing that up, but sure, very well. Court upholds the bench is right. Typical, my learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth. This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime he is charged. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
I do agree that the gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man wanted to avoid paying.
That stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes.
Then why did you declare him not guilty, lady? I trusted you.
Truth be told, the team out WAP serves up for me is a little sketchy at times.
If nothing else past the victim's insanity, there's no other explanation, is there?
I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply have influenced the decision somewhat. But never mind.
No, you really should mind. They should probably have better reasons than for condemning someone to murder than that.
The truth is, our counterargument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped.
I was gonna say, is this the one time the old man has been, like, the only one on topic? Normally we have to remind him where he is. Good for him.
Mr. Shamsphere was poisoned, there can be no doubt of that.
Then how are we supposed to turn this around?
I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamsphere was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court that
Demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly.
That's almost impossible at this stage.
if we don't manage, then Mr. Natsume will be found guilty.
I was gonna say, I never got an answer to that. Yeah, is the old man the same as the surgeon? It's sad when I rarely know if they're supposed to be the same character or not. Is the old man the same as the old surgeon, or is that supposed to be a different character? I actually genuinely don't know.
No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
He is? Okay. I can't deal with him being in the background. Fuck off. Just gonna focus on the cute mouse. If I press him, Runo mentions it. Ah, okay, cool. Okay, I'm gonna need an actual reason, lady.
Hold it!
This is the time or place to be discussing the price of gas, madam.
But really, think of the injustice. Air is gas and air is free. Why should ultimate gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever.
This isn't the time for that either. Unless it's directed at the clown.
If I might interject here.
Ah, yes, madam?
It seems my fellow juror takes issues with the price our company charges for gas. But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up.
Then what again?
Then yet again.
Why did you not vote for him? Or why did you vote for him not guilty?
Oh, what a beastly man! That unkempt mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas. Utterly unforgivable.
I've lost my patience for everyone in this case who is not olive green. This is a good meme. Oh, poor Sega. No, Mr. Natsume is not the one that's been stealing. Have you heard a fucking word we've said in this entire goddamn trial, lady? Give them the Spanish Flea. I can't. Turns out Spanish Flea is indeed copyrighted. I took the L on the ride and summoning because it was too good. But it is copyrighted. It will bite us in the ass if we keep using it. I need those precious YouTube pennies. Especially with The World Ends With You finale gone and fucking copyright stricken. Because that was actually doing relatively decent numbers for me. I'll thank you to not go on adding more crimes.
Mr. Natsume hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It was made up as the price of gas.
Good God. Really, that got nothing better out of you, Jesus.
Hold it!
Can we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir?
Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I take poison over gas every time.
You take poison?
What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it?
Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man. Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room.
Ah! I never thought of it like that. You're right, I hadn't even considered that at all.
Young lawyer man. Please get me off this jury. Their stupidity is contagious. That's why I voted guilty. I can't stay up here anymore. Please save me. Save me from this crazy life. Yes, ma'am. You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as a company's legal representative. See, I like her. She gets it. I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of trial, that's for sure.
Anyway, the point is I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past.
She understands us. She understands our plight. God, we are getting nothing better out of these people. Good God.
Hold it!
Ma'am, can you help us? Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you haven't noticed, against my company's gas. Am I supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now. Can't wait to meet her husband, Mr. Bumble. Yeah, and their lovely child, Buck. All I've heard about on Wonderful Fuel is explosions and poisons. What about electricity, huh? What about getting electrocuted? What about that, A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison. Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable. My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know. More devious? Who, madam? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies? Kai, no! He learned the thing. Good for him. Not sure what I was expecting. We generate gas and deliver it to our customers, fair and square.
Indeed, notably, nobody is questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company.
But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't have any gas at all. What? If they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would ya? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that.
They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes. And
and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours, without us even knowing.
They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally? What a brazen form of theft.
When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks.
You know something about this, buddy?
Excuse me.
He's like, that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that. Have something to say about that juror number 3? Oh, golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself. Oh, that's a link from Noodle, my bad. I missed a link from Dusk. Oh no, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Oops. Really did catch him off guard there. Yo, Minato. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct? Well, yes. I just got a little riled about it recently, you see? Go on. An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in. And do you know what he did? I'm, afraid I have no idea. Please tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. Okay. Okay. There it is. Okay. I get it now. All right. Case closed. Actually. Actually, case closed. The only thing I couldn't figure out, literally the only thing I couldn't figure out was how the fuck she did get into poison anything. Because I believe him about not eating anything else. I believed him about not eating anything else. I thought that was genuine. So I was like, what the fuck did she poison then? Because strike 9 can only be administered, it has to be ingested. It can't be inhaled or whatever. She couldn't have pumped that into the system. So I was like, how the fuck did she get him then? She coated the fucking pipe with it. Oh, that's brilliant. So how does that, what does that say? So what? Like, so what did he do? So he, like, face planted his entire body against the pipe with his hands, and that's why the hands were all over the wall? And just kept blowing like that? Like, what the fuck? Why was he getting so into it? Never mind, I know why. Oh. Clever girl, fucking really, yeah. He grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it.
What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets here.
Oh, please, everybody knows. It was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you. What do you mean?
I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network.
Yeah, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it?
Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
Oh, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe the lights of an adjacent property has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker.
The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might. You can guess what happened, can't you? Well, he blew hard then. Wait, you mean... That's right, the lights didn't just flicker, they went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house. What a disaster. Gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out. I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all, I said? So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. I wonder how that could be relevant to anything. So the clown likes to blow low and hard. I'm above that joke. Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps... Yeah, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information.
Oh, well, if you like. I don't mind. Well, I do! That's our company's secret method of identifying the rogues that try and diddle us. Like I said, ma'am, it's widely known already. I didn't know.
It is apparently historically accurate, though. That's cool.
Very well, juror number 3. You will amend your testimony, your statement accordingly.
The problem is I don't know what that has to do with right now. She used the word diddle. That I will laugh at. They knew. They absolutely knew.
Yes, my lord, although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is.
I'm not either right now. Like, that's obviously gonna end up being fucking key, but, I'm not 100% sure if that helps us this instance. I guess if y'all were right, we are breezing through this. If we're at that point already. Nothing else past the victim's lips that night? Are we really going straight for the jugular? This seems too easy. This seems way too easy. Like I said, this is kind of a huge leap in logic. Because they don't know. They don't know any of the shit I do. To go from, oh, nothing else passed through his lips. Like, no, he blew on a pipe because he was trying to steal pirate treasure. Like, wait, what? Gonna be a lot of explaining to do on this one, but okay.
Objection!
These two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious! To whose statements do you refer, counsel?
Juror number 6, did you hear what juror number 3 just said?
What? Of course I heard mumbling about something or other.
There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a manner of speaking, pass through the victim's lips on the night in question.
Say what? What explanation?
I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall at the wall light at the scene? I've been on the ball more so than Nico. He was actually stuffed. Hope it doesn't affect my feelings. Oh no, like I said, no, like no, I don't think this is easy to figure out or anything. I've just been thinking about this way too hard because I'm extra motivated. The second fucking everything about Olive's backstory came out, like good God. Just it helps that he's a clown. Like I can think about all this stupid bullshit and it's actually possible. Oh, God. Very pure? Aw. I try. Again, she's just short me. She's if me and Ivy did the fusion dance. I can't not be sympathetic. See if there were any traces of poison there. I was curious to see your flattering would result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe. Even I don't think he's that stupid or gay. Okay, he might be that gay, but come on. Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance.
What a piece of work, Isaban!
What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspear?
What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir!
I thought I'd been quite clear. Let me put it another way. That strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds into that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body.
Good lord, man!
Are they that tasting thing? Gas pops? Is that what he's saying? Have I been missing out on something?
Or is the gentleman suggesting that the man was so poor and so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with gas?
Perhaps no actress will perform a kiss scene with him.
Oh, I love this lady. Can we keep her? She's sassy.
No one wanted to act with him, so he made out with the pipe. Makes sense. I believe he's enough of a loser to do that.
For shame, madame! Speaking thy fancy!
So you do fancy the pipes. Okay, good for you.
I assure you I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes!
Everyone in the courtroom just looks at each other like they're on The Office.
Objection!
Very defensive. Very defensive. Nobody else used the word kiss, sir. Or no, she did say kiss, never mind. Holy shit, she's sassy as fuck. Can we keep her? This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Neponi's friend's conjecture.
Ding, ding.
I was gonna say, I guess that's your way of saying hi back, Help yeah. Noodle says hi, Help says gift sub. Thank you very much, Help. Noodle, enjoy your exit emotes, and clowns, and brain holes, you're gonna need them. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips on the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. These are empty assertions. There's no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Objection.
It's true. I have no proof that Mr. Shamspeare put his lips on the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeare has been doing something in front of the lamp on the wall. And I have the evidence to prove it. All right, you have my attention, dear lad. Please, tell me how much of a loser this man really is. Like to see how you can be so sure of yourself.
So would I. Let's see this evidence then.
Now that I got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity to count. This is the proof that, time and time again, Mr. Shamspeare has stood in front of this gas lamp. Time and time again. That means these handprints are old, right? What the fuck? But yeah, he actually has a lot less handprints in his room than I would think he did living here. But whatever.
Take that!
What the? These are... Wait, what are they called? Skin prints that were found at the scene.
Skin prints, Counsel? I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however.
My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Luck! Only I call him it.
It reveals all the places Mr. Shamspeare touched in his room. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it?
Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's a great Sherlock Holmes fella, that's for sure. Herlock Sholmes.
I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating. And she's well read as well. This lady is awesome. She is the queen bee. We found skin prints in many places you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here.
Around the hanging picture there, indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible.
Well, I wonder, could he have been approaching the artwork, perhaps? Appreciating the artwork? At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you find yourself directly in front of... Oh!
After this misadventure, I'm gonna write a book about it. I'm gonna call it How Leo the Lion Learned How to Roar.
I don't believe it! The gas lamp! Though the reason why wasn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspeare has been regularly standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp. Every time it makes me laugh. That picture, I did not mean to click that again, believe it or not. I'm getting better about it. Like I said, mostly because I'm so angry with him. It's overwhelming the laughter at this point. What the hell have you been up to, you nut? Do I think Leo the Lion uses Waga as his personal pronoun? Maybe. I'd like to ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement.
Me? What did I say?
You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now if you recall juror number 3's statement...
What? Me now?
When the gas worker visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused the lights of the gas stove to go out and to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is, if Mr. Shamspeare were to have blown this hard into the gas pipe in this room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will.
Crikey! Are you suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to—
Objection!
Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of law. What's the meaning of this, Lord Von Jeeks? This curious photograph, or whatever it is presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints. Clearly that cannot be accepted as form of usable evidence in this case.
Oh, come on. I get not using fingerprints. I get if we're in a time where if we're in a time where we acknowledge that, oh, maybe some fingerprints are the same, or like the fingerprints aren't different enough to be able to say definitively what they are. I get if the forensics on that is primitive enough, but come on. Like, surely we can at least acknowledge that they are handprints, and thus deduce from there that it had to have been him because he fucking lives there. You only need 3 more fish for the catch? Hey, very nice, Ren. You're doing better than me. I'm way behind since I started late. Like I said, I did not realize fishing was time-gated.
But it's an exciting new forensic technique developed by a great detective.
It's nothing! A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands. Ah! Certainly even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence.
But... Please, my lord, if I may.
Mrs. Otto?
It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene as a tool in which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
I was gonna say, yeah, we never said we were submitting them as evidence, bro. Just that, hey, this man was standing at his wall.
If the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure even the jurors would agree.
In the fan translation, juror number 2 called the clown handsome. Okay, bonnet lady, you're off the team.
You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide.
Oops.
Juror number 3. Susato's a genius.
Oh yes, I do declare the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what the shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints.
It's too late, lady. You're off the team. Go away. I don't know why we have a 6-person jury anyway. It should be an odd number. You don't belong here. Go home.
What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy.
Yeah, can't compare her and Maya. They're both great. They're very different.
Well, I did say it, didn't I? I don't like to break a promise.
No, wait, you heard his lordship. It's not fair to joke.
Oopsie, my hand slipped.
Get fucked, fair play.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. It's just one more juror changes his or her mind. Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue.
Thank you, Mrs. Otto. I could have done it without you. Why is your number 1 such a stickler? To be fair, we did accuse him of murder during the McGilda case. back before we realized there was probably tampering going on, and it got declared a mistrial. we were at the point where we were gonna have to start accusing him and the Pony Man of being the murderers instead. So he holds a grudge. It's fair. He's actually being quite reasonable, all things considered. He has said several times, "Well,
Okay, I guess I'll hear you out, boy."
he's not too bad.
Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success.
Sweat, bitch. Why, Mr. Shamspeare, you seem to be losing your composure.
Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it!
Very well, Count. Continue, Counsel.
That face so ugly, who? Shamspeare? Ah, it looks the same as always to me. Multi-pull on the Freezy banner. I'm sending you all my good luck fusion. I am sending you all of my good luck. Since I can't afford to pull for C2 Raiden and her weapon anyway, I shall pass my luck on to you. Booga booga. Oh, is that really not enough? Oh shit, okay. Alright, you wanna know what it is? It's our choice. Okay. All right. You need to give me an actual reason, sir.
Hold it!
You mean it's poisoned? More spousal abuse, really? That's right. Happened to die a few times now.
This is most troubling indeed.
Always days like this one when I don't get any wages. I get into tea time, see? And I see her doing it, my wife. She gets that devilish look on her face, and she slips some white powder into my cup. Oh my god! No! Do I know a game called Dead or Alive? No, I do not. Hope Fair plays Lover. Oh, Ponyman? Yeah, we haven't seen him, yeah. Yeah, juror number 3 looks suspiciously like him, but it is not the same character. Yeah, I hope Ponyman's doing alright. She does, look at this poison. Or cocaine. And you drink it anyway? I doubt it's actually poison. It's probably salt instead of sugar or something fucked up like that. It's not his fault he keeps getting jury duty back to back to back. It's not his fault this game's budget was shit. I was brought up proper, I was. Someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. And what happened to you? What did it taste like? It was god-awful, believe you me. Salty as hell. I called it. Hey. Bullshit psychic powers. Bullshit psychic powers.
Then I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt?
No! So she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly? Unbelievable. If you really love me, you poison me for not bringing home enough money. No wife of mine, damn it. Let's move on, please. You didn't get the Frieza, but you got a crazy good new Frieza unit? Hey, that's good. That's something. Anything else, ma'am? We did kind of interrupt you before you gave your full thing. You gonna say anything else later that triggers something? Again, I'm still shocked. Oh, it's stuff is fair play? I was gonna say it's either fair play or, like I said, she might have something new. We've not pressed him yet, yeah. If it's not something else she has, then it kind of has to be him. Because they all have new statements. It could be one of them, but like none of it's really relevant. Like they're all on our side. Why would I press them further? How much does this kid make me laugh? Tonight, not much. Yeah, Minato, you just got here. This has actually been mostly the opposite. I cried buckets for a while there, realizing the full implications of Olive's backstories. We always have to check whether or not one of those Divas companies has been up to its tricks. I had no idea. It's almost unbelievable. Might seem unbelievable to you, but it's happening. All the time, right here in the capital. Very difficult to selling something you can't see. Very difficult indeed. Thank you. That will do. Clearly this is a very involved subject, but I feel we have digressed rather too much already. I concur, though if my learned friend wishes to become an expert in gas, I believe the subject will suit him well. I just called you a fart to your new career in nothingness. Thank you so much. The first game didn't have a huge budget. Second games were really cut after the first game. Really? Was it really? Is that why the second game doesn't have any anime cutscenes? God damn, that sucks. Yeah, I was very disappointed to learn that. Ugh. You got full power for— Hey! Congrats, Fusion! Now if I do end up somehow being able to pull for Raiden her C2 weapon, or not, vice versa. Her weapon and Raiden's C2. If I have shitty luck, I'm blaming you. You will turn your attention to the next jury's assertion, please, Counsel. Okay, alright, so not her then. She's done. Alright.
Hold it!
Hey, bestie. Stop complaining about Raiden, but I love her! I love her and I want her to be her very best. Do you have any idea how good her C2 is? Her C2 is fucking OD. All the evidence, you say?
That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all put to that Japanese man with the big mustache.
You're calling other people's mustaches big! I just looked at the text. Good fucking god. I vibe. I am literally Raiden and also literally Ryunosuke. I was gonna say, Minato gave me some money towards it. Her C2 is busted. Stop being greedy. I just don't want Albedo to be my only C2 limited character. That's all. I don't want that to be my legacy. But the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events of the night in question. What do you think of that?
What, your so-called skin prints?
It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique, developed by the great detective himself.
The numerous handprints on the wall clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamspeare had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, he won't be able to see C6 Albedo. Shut up. No, don't put that evil on me. It can't be denied there's a possibility that that's where the poison was. How good are Sarah's constellations? Ridiculously good. She is, in higher constellations, people are saying that she's as good of a support as Bennett. I don't quite think she's that good, but she is very good.
Well, yes, I don't deny that it's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides...
Yes?
Even though he's been sent up for some mission with the gas pipe dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he got the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it?
Oh.
So you can't make your case better than I'm afraid I can't change my stance.
You do make a very valid point, sir.
What? That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty. No, wait.
Look, if you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. You and your Japanese cohorts can, that is.
Leave our nationality out of this, please.
Mr. Naruhodo, if you can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid the jurors will change their minds before may very well change them back.
What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamspeare really did blow down the gas pipe at the night in question? I can present evidence I have supporting testimony. Do I? I want to say I don't think I have any other actual evidence of it besides that. And just my knowledge of, you know, other shit happening. Like what happened to Duncan. I'm guessing Soseki, yeah, like the fact that that's an option, I'm guessing have Soseki testify, right? To the fact that all this shit was happening, yeah. I'm not sure how reliable they're gonna consider his testimony, but like it's all I got. Now, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is a witness testimony that substantiates it. Or even Garadeb. Actually, I forgot about that. I could actually probably also call in Garadeb, right? Because he could attest to the shit flickering, I think. If they can't take Soseki's word.
What's that? Testimony?
This is incredible! Whose testimony?
Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. A person whose testimony revealed details about the gas at the Garadeb residence that night. Namely... I don't know. It's either Soseki or Garadeb. I kind of want to say Garadeb. Like, Soseki can attest to the fact that his lights went out, but, like, are they really going to believe him? Garadeb has not testified at all. We've talked to him during the investigation segments, but he's not been on the stand at all. We'll try it.
Take that!
Nope. Well, Mr. Foreman, does that convince you? No. Okay. I didn't think they. Didn't think they believed Soseki. So I figured it can't be that easy, but I guess so. I don't know, when half of them don't trust Oseki. Little brother got bitten by some random bug. Oh no. Oh god, I have to go. Oh no! I have to go through all that again. Oh shit. Oh. Oh no. Might be moving into a new place sometime soon. Hey, very nice help. Have a lot of time on your hands without the 4 hours of train rides. Been thinking of finally streaming again just for the hell of it. Been 3.5 years. I do this for a living. Any advice help? I always hate to say this because it sounds disingenuous, but just do it. Shia LaBeouf that shit. Just like whatever your schedule allows for. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Like a couple hours a night or whatever. Talk to your chat. Engage with people. And just have a consistent schedule. Doesn't have to be every night like me, or like I try to do anyway. But like, just, yeah. Don't know bug, so you don't know if it's dangerous? Yeah, I'm not sure you say random bug. I don't know what kind of random bug. Alright.
Take that!
Alright. I don't know why suddenly you'll believe a word he says when you so clearly didn't earlier, but sure. Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume himself. The defendant? Yeah, see? At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following. My lodgings, a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings! You know that fateful night it happened, and I returned from Mr. Shemspeare's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me! It's small and green. He said it bit him. Ugh. On the ankle. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. Not too much of a descriptor. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not?
Good golly!
So that Shakespeare fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose? Oh, your horses there. What would he do that for? That's not actually sweat, he's just that greasy. He's just constantly secreting a disgusting form of grease. It also smells bad. Mr. Foreman! What the? What is it, man? We cannot allow our judgment to be passed whilst this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree there is more to this case than meets the eye. Oh, you got a picture of it? Yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to. That's cool. It's good that you got one, but yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to identify it personally. Maybe someone else can. Fair enough, like I said at the outset. I'm a man of logic, first and foremost. Hey. That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. Overturn the decision. Therefore, defense calls for the trial to continue. Stinky clown oil. As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now call guilty for not guilty. I can count, therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted and in accordance with the law of this land. Hereby demand the continuation of this trial. Blah, 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 blah. Mr. Asshole!
My lord, how can I humble the
What you say in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination?
So God amend me, I do solemnly swear. I recall a goat, either the lamp or the pipe.
Well, your handprints are made of dynamite all over the wall there. How do you explain that, huh? I am done with this! The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5, I am going for a walk. Oh, me? Did I not say ought? I thought I said ought. Oh, or out. Oh, it's pronounced like out, actually. Oh, my bad. Or, I don't know. I don't know words halfway through. Probably. We're probably fine. I'll power through at this point. As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in a British court of law.
Blah, blah, blah. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains at times an unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that.
Objection.
But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there... Oh, come on. That's a legitimate request, bruh.
What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of the tea are required.
Yeah?
Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that if the poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible.
You don't know that. I didn't think of that. There could be a drop left. We should check.
In any case, Counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipe work where he lived?
There's only one possibility I could think of. And that is... to use the leaking gas to commit murder.
Order, Counsel! Precisely whose life you propose this man was plotting to end?
The answer couldn't be simpler. Now we've unraveled this mystery so far. Mr. Shams here wanted to end the life of... my boy.
Take that!
If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing. I live around these spots myself. I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lit is pretty much suicide. You'd freeze to death in no time. Mr. Garrett, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamsier was trying to end.
Outrageous!
I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. He was about to die the day after his trial. Stares at Gina. Why Gina? Oh! You're saying yeah, yeah. He may have. This would have killed him. God. Gina's probably fine, I imagine, because she's named after a character from actual Holmes stories, right? Inspector Lestrade. So I imagine she'll be back in some capacity. She's not gonna die. That'd be silly. Mr. Natsume is not the villain in this case. He's the victim of this. He's the victim this man was trying to murder.
Good gracious!
Objection!
Here's the problem. We still gotta figure out who... I hate this. I already hate this.
The accused is actually the aggrieved. Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here.
What? How can you still claim that?
Let us indulge your fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question then arises, who put it there?
Who did put it there?
The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill. Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the edge of the gas pipe with poison? So now we must ask, how could anyone have known Mr. Shamspeare's murderous designs?
You mean to suggest...
Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known.
You'd think, right? Unless somebody conveniently got new information about a previous instance of him doing this.
What? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was clearly a retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume.
Exactly, Rick. Like I said, just like he's just a fuck. Like he's just a complete and utter fuck for no reason. literally drank tea and had a debate about literature with this man, and then still tried to do the gas shit to kill another man when he's already done it. After he'd bonded with Natsume, he couldn't have, again, if he bonded with Natsume, you'd think, okay, this guy's cool, this guy likes Shakespeare, I'll go over to his house and just ask to look for it, and then worst case scenario, I'll split the money with him, right? No. Couldn't do that. Like I said, he's just a selfish fuck who, even after seemingly bonded with him, felt the need to go this far. Fuck him. Fuck this man 7 different ways, and none of the ways he enjoys.
Whatever Mr. William Shakespeare may or may not have contrived to do, he nevertheless was the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack.
It's not his fault. It's not Soseki-san's fault he lost that fight. That was an honorable brawl. He just didn't like Romeo enough. If he really thought Romeo was stronger, he would have won that fight. He's not good enough. It's not his, Soseki's a Chad. He's just a bitter Betty. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I certainly don't recognize what kind it is, Bestie. Couldn't even begin to narrow it down. Not 1, but 2 debates. Hamlet or Macbeth before the first incident, and then Romeo and Juliet. Yep. Yeah, just... no. Key-right, thank you for the follow.
He was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could possibly have perpetuated that attack is the accused.
You really don't think the clown would have fucking noticed somebody putting the poison on the pipe? You think yes, he is that dumb, but, like, come on. That has to be our next argument. Like, you really think he wouldn't notice Soseki doing this shit?
The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it, in fact, now the clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established. That suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponies friend?
Blah, 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 blah. How did he manage to turn that around on me?
Wow, what another discussion with that Japanese man. Truly marvelous. Now to blow out this candle. Out that is.
Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond, otherwise members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage. What advantage? I hope you nominated Yeek Music. Some of that Yeek Music was actually alright. I hope you nominated Yeek Music just to fuck with everyone. Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shakespeare's room. So we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt. You mean name the true culprit? I don't want to do this. I know it might sound impossible, but if we do fail to do that, I have no doubt Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all. God fucking damn it. As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison, all pointed to a particular person now. What is with this game making me accuse people who are fully justified in their murders? First Space Dandy for murdering Bitchface, and now this? Fuck off. Some people deserve to die, I'm sorry. Some people deserve to die. Fucking Jezebel was one of them, and fucking this bitch is definitely one of them. Murder is not murder. No, I'm sorry. No. Call me a bad person, I don't care. Take a breath and look around. A lot of folks deserve to die.
Prosecution calls for the jury to reconsider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. What don't we? Don't you worry. We know exactly what.
Gray is a color that exists. Even in murder. There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all this. The true culprit of this crime. That's crime in air quotes.
The true culprit? A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives, my Nepony's friend.
I was gonna say, I can't believe the queen lady, the queen bee has not shifted her vote yet. I guess she's just distracted. I choose to believe she's just not even thinking about the trial. She's thinking about how angry she is at people insulting her gas company.
But why? This farce has gone on for so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before the disappointing climax.
Can someone actually link you an actually good song? I don't know the names of any of them. I'm not gonna go back and listen to the soundtrack or anything, but like there were a couple of songs in the game that were genuinely good. That one song by the Undertale guy was alright, and the final boss theme, or not final boss theme, the theme that played when the meteor was hitting, when we went to Times Square or whatever. That song was alright. Thank you.
Tell us, my learned Nepony's friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime?
I hate my life and I hate everything in it, except for some things. Like you guys. And the concept of C2 Raiden. And her weapon. Surprised to remember anything from that game, right? Again, because I thought about that... Because I thought about that game way more than a healthy person should, having actually played through the whole thing. Like, I actually tried to give it a fair shake in many aspects. The name of the person responsible for that poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspear, I believe. Miss Olive Green.
Miss Olive Green? Miss Olive Green? I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past council, but I don't recall where. Miss Olive Green, the woman from 6 days ago. The victim in the recent case of the stabbing on Briar Road. An incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add. Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for 3 days, I believe, but I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago. And hardly need to remind the court Mr. Shamspear's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in the hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi.
That is true, that on the night of the incident occurred, Miss Green was in the hospital unconscious. So on the face of it, it would seem she couldn't possibly be responsible, but still. My colleagues and I visited Miss Green at a hospital yesterday. We found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison.
Good gracious, she had poison?
Just talking about alibis and shit again, remember that, I just realized, yet another way this man could have gotten the goddamn treasure without killing yet another person. Too late to not kill Duncan, but whatever. Fucking actually develop some kind of rapport with Natsume. Actually, just make it look like you're friends with, even if you hate the guy, make it look like you're friends with him long enough to be like, oh, he's out of his, and then when he's out of his house, be like, oh, my dear friend, Mr. Natsume, forgot something in his apartment and we were supposed to be done at the pub. Can I please go to his room, Mr. Ganadub, and fetch it? And then get the goddamn treasure. Like, so many other options. The list goes on. I just keep thinking of alternatives. The more alternatives I think of, the more I just want to torture this man while a jury turns a blind eye. Cause holy shit.
Good gracious, she had poison?
Or cut holes in the ceiling. Add it to the pile. Night-night, Ren, you have a good one. Didn't even need to ask permission if he could shut up long enough, fucking right? God. There's another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court. Is the case bad? This case is not bad. It's just frustrating for me because the clown's such a fuck. And because I, not necessarily relate to, but just, empathize with Olive's whole thing. It's not bad, like, the mechanics make sense for the most part. It's just frustrating because of the people involved.
Tell me, Mr. Shamspear.
My lord, pray, what's thy bidding?
Are you acquainted with Miss Green?
Huh? No, never heard of her.
We literally saw you talking to her earlier today. I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her. At least not by name. You missed the bee people, you and me both. Bring back Meterman.
As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my lonely Nipponese friends fast through to its conclusion.
I appreciate that. Now you imagine him sneaking into Natsume's room? Yeah, like I said, just so many other options. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that he felt the need to go this far to get somebody out of a fucking room, not once but twice. Like, fuck this guy.
The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here. Yes, Miss Olive Green. Indeed, my lord.
1 hour should be sufficient. That's the most fucked up part of all. You know what? Jesus Christ. This wouldn't have even happened. Like, he got away with it once. He was lucky to get away with killing someone to get him out of the room once. The fact that he tried this again, if he hadn't tried this again, this whole case wouldn't have fucking happened. He'd be fine. Because the poison was on the fucking pipe. If he just didn't put his goddamn mouth on the pipe again, this wouldn't have happened. Fucking hell, Olive probably knew that. That's why she put it there of all places, rather than in like line his cup with it or some shit. Just not so much for revenge, but more for the fact that, okay, I can't let him do this to anyone else. Motherfucker. Fuck this piece of shit. God damn it. Ah! Request granted. Jesus Christ. Excellent. I hope.
Defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say, but at the present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court's contention. Thank you, counsel. We'll reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned.
Oh, God. It's really still that short? I'm getting worried. The fact that there's a break here, god damn it. All I can say is her sentence better not be too harsh. Because good fucking God. Does not deserve it. We are finishing it tonight. This is the last part. Let's get the bitch. I know. I'm just tired and angry and sad. And stomach cramps. Every Archon has a simp. Understandable. Joyful, jubilant jumping jacks! Oh, Mr. Natsume, I'm so pleased for you. Locum student Naruto Esquire and not locum judicial system. Finally, at long last, there can be proof. Proof that I am innocent and proof that my tea is innocent.
Good morning, my dear fellows.
Luck Jones. May you drink vitality and forever silent. I thought that he was innocent. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came. How wonderful. I just realized the fact that they replaced his pipe with the more Japanesey pipe. I don't know what it's called. That's beautiful. That's the attention to detail I appreciate. Shiba deserves this guy? No. Shiba was less of a fuck than this guy. Like, Shiba was a fuck, but at least Shiba owned up to his mistakes in the end. At least Shiba could fucking acknowledge that he was a clown and try to work better towards it. If this guy has any fucking remorse or does anything whatsoever, no. I severely doubt. LaBelle. I'll take LaBelle over this guy. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came. How wonderful.
I've also arrived. Please save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says, when it's very nearly time for luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces.
Nobody said or thought anything like that.
The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. As sleep seduced me last night, I thought. Tomorrow, for once, I shall not oversleep. I'll rise early and be present to court to support my companions.
Such keen determination has beauty of its own, does it not?
Oh, yes.
And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep? I queried. Why, time after time, do they make the same foolish blunder? And the answer came to me at once. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep. Well, is that not an astute insight into the matter, or what?
Oh, yes. Very observant. Very professional.
Upon which realization, I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink all night. And the results? By first light, I was exhausted and began to be assailed by the fits of drowsiness. Shocking. And so the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential. Yes. I think most of us probably knew that already. What others presuppose, I prove by experimentation. That, my dear fellow, is the scientific method.
He's so stupid. I love him.
And yes, one more thing. Do you remember this? He can't be Clavier's he cannot be Clavier's ancestor. He looks like Clavier. He cannot be Clavier's ancestor. Clavier's not a himbo. Clavier is actually pretty smart. Like, deceptively smart. Sholmes is too, in a different way. I get it, but holy shit. Nonsensical shit to find out answers to nonsensical questions. He might be the kind of person to spend everything on Genji just to get a 3-star character. Yeah. Clavier's really smart because his ancestors worked out the stupid. Herlock Sholmes walked so Clavier could fly. Yeah, of course, the poisonous scream was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Oh, you didn't manage to... It was a laborious task as the bottle was nearly empty, but the inconveniences do not hinder Sholmes. I managed to confirm that it indeed contains Strike 9. So I was right. Perhaps, though, of course, such circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your care now, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended. I'm sorry, Sholmes walked so Clavier could rock on, baby. Could I have a word? Herlock fucked the smartest woman and it canceled out. It all canceled out eventually. Gregson, how good of you to come. Forget it, excuse me! You're wearing the outfit again. I can't look at you right now. Wait a minute, Inspector. I, don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. The look on your face, I'd say it's someone else who you think is making a nuisance of himself. My dear Inspector, please speak freely. Pretend I'm not even here. I am a ghost. Ignore me! Believe me, if I could, I would. Life would be a whole lot simpler.
Do you have the results, Inspector, of the investigation of Mr. Shamspeare's room?
Not yet. Shouldn't be too long now, though. I'm here about something else. That dead convict, actually. Oh, you mean the man from this newspaper article we discovered yesterday? Monado, no. What the fuck? Monado, we've met like 3 women in this game. There are smarter people out there than Iris. Iris is very smart, don't get me wrong, but come on. Dude. Why you gotta go there? Ew.
A man by the name of, yes, Selden.
I went through the archives at Yard and dug out the fellow's file. There's something in there that, well, caught my eye. I was gonna say, Susato is also very smart.
Something caught your eye? What, Inspector? What?
I was gonna say, Susato was my first thought when you say the smartest woman. Mostly because of the keyword being, you know, woman, not girl. I've copied out the relevant parts for you so you can read it for yourselves.
Thank you. These documents include the details that were never in the newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room.
I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have to duplicate information. She's so good. Why give us a copy of this?
Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'm just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion.
It's too late to endear yourself to me, Gregson, by actually being helpful. I've seen the future. Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful.
Indeed, my dear fellows, and the inspector here is a shining diamond in its crown.
My shining diamond in the rough, maybe.
Look, I don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all.
I can see the future!
Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court proceedings are about to resume. Make your way into the courtroom at once.
Well, I shall leave it to you, then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery. Not nodding off at all. No, sir, certainly not me.
Thank you, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Mustache flood of tears, personally, so the best of luck to you.
Just put your mask on, nobody will know.
Welcome to Mr. Natsume!
Yes, Mr. Natsume.
It's time, isn't it?
Yes, that it is. Miss Olive Reed and Mr. William Shamspeare. This could be the final battle. This is the final battle. Cloud explodes if Sholmes is still asleep. Good for him. I won't really have say Soseki-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. But it's all coming to a head now. You can do it, Ryunosuke. You have to. There's still one thing we don't know. Who's flying the plane? He just shook a man a lot, get over it? No! He did not just shake a man. He shook a skulkin. You don't touch my children. You don't shake my skulkins. You just don't do it. Fuck you. Also, you know, framing a teenage girl for murder. But mostly the skulkins.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again now. Before the recess, we have heard a most startling accusation from the defense. Namely, the victim in the case we heard only 3 days ago was the true perpetrator in this incident. A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing, in my opinion, my lords, however.
The teenage girl was Persona 5 and she had it coming. Ayo! Fusion said it, not me.
The prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from the dubious eastern shores.
Thank you! I think it was less him trying to plant evidence on the Skulkin and more just trying to hide it until the trial was over. I will give him that much. I don't think he was, like, trying to frame the Skulkin brothers for being involved in the espionage shit, on top of what they were already going to go down for. I think he was just literally trying to find a place to hide the evidence until the trial was over. Thanks for that backhanded consideration.
A rather cold assessment for the honorable British prosecutor, I must say. So, Lord Von Zeeks, is a new witness present and ready to take the stand?
The Skulkins are actually criminals. They're robbers! Who suck at robbing people. They shot Sholmes in a moment of discontent. That's very small potatoes compared to some of these other people. I will take an accidental shooting because they got startled over half the shit these other assholes have done. Especially, like I said, willfully, gleefully working for a government that's willing to frame a teenage girl to cover up its bullshit.
Ready and waiting in the witness's antechamber, my lord. Very well, bailiff. Bring the witnesses in.
That aha moment when I noticed what Gregson did got you excited. Not many players got it that early, really? I was the first thing I thought of. Well, because it was so out of character. Like, it stuck with me just because it was so out of character for Gregson and he was hurting a Skulkin. And I probably love the Skulkins more than most people.
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please.
situation. I'm a thespian. A tragic victim to be pitied.
I mean, maybe they'll pity you after they see what I'm gonna do to you. But right now, nah, fam. Unemployed, got it.
I am Olive Green. I'm a fledgling artist. Well, no. Not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure who's too experienced to admit she has no talent, I suppose.
Also currently unemployed, in other words. Hey, she's a student. She's a student, sir. Do I love them more than most people as in I'm a bigger fan, or do I like them more than most people on Earth? Both. What a coterie. Mr. Shakespeare.
My lord, I am thy humble servant.
I'm afraid that you're no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are, in fact, the assailant intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part you played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you.
I would for not else, my lord.
Miss Green,
Yes.
you are aware of the reason you've been summoned to the courtroom today, I presume.
Yes, the officer did explain. He said I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon.
I love you. And you accept the charge, Miss Green?
I don't know anything about any poisoning. And I don't know anything about this man.
Come, lady! Die to live! Don't you fucking say that word to her ever again, you motherfucking piece of shit. I'll choke you with that goddamn fucking clown ruffle. Fucking cut off your airflow, watch the life slowly drain from your eyes as I peel back your fingernails so you're as in much pain as possible while it happens.
Verily I know not thy prickly pea-pigmented personage.
Very well, let us proceed to the matter at hand. That being to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair.
What about his knees? Oh, that's the that was the main course. The knees are the appetizer. Always start with the knees. Always. It gives you more time to tenderize them.
It's all very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me? I barely ever go to East End anyway. It so happens I passed by the neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on the night this man was poisoned, I was still in the hospital fighting for my life.
Yes, I've been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Garrett household. An incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3 days.
I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife through no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion? What other irrelevant things might I be suspected of? It's all very disturbing.
Your energies may be spent after worrying about a random knife attacks, I feel, Miss Green.
At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shakespeare's belongings is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. That's why. We would like you to testify formally now about what exactly happened.
Oh no!
No, her hair does not look like the Game Freak logo. She's better than that.
The incident 6 days ago? You want me to relive that awful incident?
Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we'll be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shakespeare.
Huh? What about 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned?
Let us proceed then. Witness will present their formal testimony to the court.
I was gonna say, is that what her hair is supposed to be, a paintbrush? That's adorable.
On the subject, the incident took place on Briar Road on the evening of the 17th of February.
It was 6 days ago, about 5 p.m. I was walking along the snow and I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where Just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings. first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I admitted straight to the hospital, so I knew nothing about all this business.
Yes, a second incident inside a week I believe to aptly be described as the Haunted Lodgings. One can only presume it's a most unfortunate coincidence. Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shakespeare.
'Twas the following morn when I did awaken that I learnt of the dire events. Mary, what a commotion in the office of the lawmaker on the floor above mine.
When Soseki-san was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder.
I suspected there is nothing connecting these two witnesses but happenstance.
It's true, it does seem as though we're unrelated at first glance. But I'm not so sure. Something lurking in the shadows here. I feel certain of it. This is my one and only chance to expose it.
Counsel, you may now cross-examine these two witnesses if you wish.
Yes, my lord. I don't actually have her letter or anything about, who the fuck wanted to meet with her? It wouldn't be him. It would not be him wanting to tell her, oh, by the way, I actually killed your fiancé, it wasn't an accident. So that's all the testimony I have to work with.
There's certainly no obvious link between these two, or the two incidents.
Well, you can't just turn around and admit this has all been a waste of time. I have some pride, you know, Mr. Sato.
I think perhaps pride shouldn't come into this, Mr. Naruhodo.
Anyway, I should at least make sure I press them on all their statements. And hard, god, of course. Did you hear what I said about pride? Literally all? Or is one of these going to be more important? You were at the tavern, so you're gonna say you were there the whole night?
Hold it!
And the cottage only just find out about it in the morning. A tavern, you say? Which one?
'Twas the second satellite, Terry. 'Tis a jewel of the East End.
A little unexpected, I feel.
What do you mean, Lord Von Zeeks?
The Slug and Salad offers usually fine dining for the locality, at least. Not an establishment you expect to be patronized by a man without even a crumb of bread in his room.
It's true, the menu lists premium crust of bread and glasses of water, in different levels of cloudiness.
I would have expected grub scrubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your means.
I was gonna say, for a nice place, Slug and Salad is an awful name. That's disgusting. Then again, Europeans eat slugs, right? Ugh. Or no, they eat snails. Not the same thing. I don't know, whatever.
Watery soap and mushy peas, or rather soupy water and pea-like mush.
All equally appetizing.
I just wanted to dress water on a different pub for once. What's wrong with that?
How different can water really be? I don't know, man. You saw Dasani trending the other day.
Perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. A specific reason as to why he had to go to that particular establishment.
Agreed. The fact that on that day of all days he dined in a place he wouldn't normally does stand out. So Mr. Chancellor's own actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago were slightly suspicious. Wonder if we have some evidence that could explain those actions. We don't have that. We don't have that letter, right? We have this, but I think it's probably a little too soon for that, right? Yeah, I'm guessing it can't be that simple, unfortunately. Yeah, I didn't even I didn't even think about that. Wait a minute. Yeah, wait, shit. Yeah, wait, did she write that letter to him? I was thinking somebody else with fucking insider info somehow wrote that letter to her, but is it the opposite? did she write that letter to him to try and call him out on his bullshit? Huh. Either way, it's probably still too soon for that. I wish we did, but sadly I can't think of anything at the moment.
If we find a clue that can explain why Mr. Shamsphere went there, we must present it to the court.
Yes, absolutely. What was your little matter?
Hold it!
What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate.
It was nothing, really. Not worth mentioning.
Why does Rena look more like Apollo than Phoenix? It's weird, right? I mean, when he makes certain faces, it's obvious that that he's Phoenix, but yeah, generally speaking, he does feel more like an Apollo. If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital.
Oh,
It was related to that card you were holding. Miss Green! What was that? She clearly just hit something behind her back. Yeah, I was thinking that somebody else had sent her this. I don't know who that other person could be at this point. I guess it's a little late for like to introduce somebody else involved, but yeah, I'm guessing maybe actually she sent it to him, and then maybe tried to take the letter back, but forgot that one tear of it when she would have got whenever she got in there to get the poison on there. Not sure how the fuck she pulled that off, by the way. Again, maybe she did the unthinkable and actually figured out a way to break into somebody's room, rather than, you know, kill them to get them out of a room. Clearly just hit something behind her back. Chad Apollo. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross.
what does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan.
Aha.
Excuse me.
Mr. Shamsphere, you got something to say?
No. No, I don't think I do. To be or not to be? That is the question. Oh, pray forgive me the great bard's words springeth from me when near a thought.
You are not Dinobot, and you never will be. Hearing Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance, perhaps.
Nay, sirree, 'twas nothing at all.
Presumably you know the name, though. Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. I was gonna say, I'm shocked it took him this long to use that one. That's the one I always go for. Mostly because Dinobot. I'm shocked it took him this long to whip that one out. After all, you were both the same lodgers in the same house.
It would, if it was so, it would, it was so. I would it was so, but sadly nay. Lodging be lonely occupation, sire. My lodging fellows be rarely known to be.
So you haven't heard of him, even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours?
Miss Green.
Me, my lord? Have I done something wrong?
The card that was mentioned before, containing the note, do you have it upon your person?
I do, yes, but I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really.
Before you dispose of it, the court will take it into evidence, please.
Ripped open thoroughly. Contains instructions to meet with somebody who claims to have information about Duncan Ross. God, it doesn't say who it's from. Of course, that's what links Shamsphere Miss Green. It's Duncan Ross.
Now, continue with your testimony, please, Miss Green.
Alive or dead? I don't know what that is. Dusk was mentioning that earlier. I have no idea what that game is. Okay. Can I read the actual full thing? Where did it say to meet? Can I actually read the whole thing proper? Envelope's been ripped up rather carelessly, hasn't it? Miss Green's been starting to open a correspondence more neatly than that. She does. Oh, yeah. Yep, okay. Yep, it totally was. It was the other way around. Yep, she sent it to him to probably try and call him out on his bullshit. And probably to warn him. I wonder. Yeah, I have to press the statement first. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, no. She probably literally warned him. She probably specifically called him out to tell him, hey, look, fucker, I know what you did. I can't do anything about it, but if you do it again, you'll regret it. And she had probably already put the fucking poison on the pipe by that point. Literally gave him fair warning, and he still fucking did it. This absolute motherfucker. What is it? The way the envelope is torn, I'm almost sure I've seen that exact shape somewhere else. Oh, you don't mean... Were you thinking of this piece of evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Exactly, that's it. Try to match them up. They go together perfectly. It's the torn of the envelope that clearly belongs with this card. Yeah, I don't even know. I was hoping I could read the actual content. I was thinking read the actual letter and remember what the name of the bar was that they were supposed to meet at to see if it was the one he went to. Don't even need to do that much now.
Hold it!
It's a fighting game for people. Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Dead or Alive. Yeah, I have heard of that. I also mainly know it for the volleyball spinoff. I actually, one of my friends, one of my childhood friends actually had that game. I actually played that a little bit. Mr. Shamspear.
Yes, sir. Sire.
It was the same bar mentioned. I kind of thought it was, but I wanted to remember because y'all know how my goldfish memory is sometimes. They're like, oh, and they have talked about 2 different bars at this point, so I was like, oh shit, wait, which one was it? But yeah, it was. Okay, I figured. On the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you normally don't patronize? For a very particular reason. Don't forget to check the piece of envelope. Wait, do I have to do that too? Seriously? It said it updated both of them, though. Yeah, no, the game was actually nice. It updated both descriptions. Yeah, we're fine. We're actually fine for once.
I don't know what you're speaking about. Pray if the husband's purpose speakest.
Very well. I will present the court with evidence. Evidence that explains why you had to be at the Slug and Salad that day. Namely...
Take that!
I believe this card reveals the answer. The music didn't stop right away, and I was very worried. I was like, you're really gonna make me present the tearing up piece instead, or whatever. Oh, you weren't even talking about the game? Oh, okay, just weird phrasing, I gotcha. I believe this card reveals the answer.
Good lord, Miss Green's card, you mean?
That's right, my lord. It reads, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Mr. Shamspear, your actions of the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note.
Oh!
Personally, I find it hard to believe that it's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shamspear?
Excuse me. Can I say something?
Yes, Miss Green.
That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this odd man, does it?
Well, you'd think so, yes. That's what I thought at first, but unfortunately I don't believe you. I wish I could. But then I get it sucks. It genuinely sucks. I'd lie through my teeth for her if not for the fact that it's the only way to get Natsume off the hook. Like, fucking damned if you do, damned if you don't. You'd think so. It's hard to believe it's merely...
My lord, may I?
May you what, Miss Green?
I'd like to make something very clear about that card.
Very well, then. You may amend your testimony to include details about the peculiar note.
This note was delivered to me at my address. It's nothing to do with the odd man next to me here.
Unfortunately, I already knew that's true. No, that's not true, ma'am. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, you pursued Mr. Shamspear wonderfully there. Worked out well, hasn't it? We have a new clue at last. All right, now I need to pull off a really insightful objection somewhere. Well, as you managed to expose this promising new angle, I wonder if you should perhaps try and develop that. Oh, yeah, of course. Filling out objections isn't necessarily the best way to do that, I suppose. That game got a Hollywood adaptation? Oh, I remember that, actually. And I made it to Dead or Alive, the movie.
Oh my god, it's Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden! I love that guy!
Yeah, I'm sorry, honey. We already know that's Bupkis.
Objection!
The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address. And upon carrying out the instructions of the note, you found yourself in the hospital.
Yes, I did. It's terrible, everything that's happened to me.
Yes, it is terrible. It really is. Unfortunately, some of it is not true.
What do you mean?
Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's the torn off end of an envelope.
Oh, is it?
And it so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received. So yeah, she probably tried to take it back whenever she snuck in. I just forgot about that one piece. Cause she expected that this man wasn't so stupid that he'd at least know how to open an envelope without tearing it like that, right? I'm sorry, honey. You had too much faith in this fucking piece of shit.
Where did you find that?
In Mr. Shamspeare's room.
Oh, in my room?
Mr. Shamspeare, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere?
Ah, well...
Your actions that afternoon follow the instructions of the note, to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. And so that's exactly where you went. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shamspeare. You already knew about this note, didn't you? And you, Miss Green.
What did I do?
This torn off into the envelope proves. The note was originally Mr. Shamspeare's room. So how is it that it came into your possession?
I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist after all.
There's only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shamspeare's room and stole it.
You did what? Sorry! Thou hast what? You broke! I mean, thou were in my room!
Oh, he's breaking. Oh, he's breaking! Break down! Break down! Motherfucker!
What on earth do you want with me?
Oh, I just realized. I wonder. Never mind. I may have been giving her slightly too much credit. I wonder if she just called him there and then never actually went there and instead used the chance to break into his room when he wasn't there. I didn't even think about that because the timeline wouldn't match up otherwise with what I was thinking. Still deserved.
It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again.
Miss Green. Have I mentioned how much I love when people put on bullshit accents and then have a breakdown to the point that they start to lose the accent? It's why Danganronpa Case 3 of the first game. One of my favorite, The case itself is kind of garbage, but the moment you know who starts to break down, A++, especially the English voice the English voice acting, holy shit. Good stuff. Miss Green.
Yes?
Whilst you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you have endured in recent events, anyone found to be giving false testimony in a court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind.
Yes, I know.
Very well then, witnesses. You will give formal testimony again now. On the subject of this curious anomaly regarding this note Miss Green claims to have received.
It's Kina.
English VA was superb, yeah. Yeah, I'm sad. That voice actress is great. I'm sorry that she's not in too much more.
I do remember now. It was a week ago, peradventure. The note was delivered unto me. On the day writ therein, I did tarry long with the slug and sound, yet nobody came.
Yep, she baited him. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I gave her slightly more credit. Like I said, I was thinking literally she even gave him fair warning. Like, hey, don't fucking do this bullshit again or you will regret it without actually elaborating. But nah, she just went ahead and did it and let him figure it out. That's even better. The idea of this asshole being stuck in a bar. The idea of this motherfucker being stuck in a bar all goddamn night waiting for somebody who knows his secret so he has to stay there, but not having the money to fucking buy anything. Imagine him taking, like, minuscule sips of fucking water all night, just like... Buddy, I've been here for 5 hours! I'm not finished!
Now, after all the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I stuck it in this man's room, do you? Why would I?
The textures for Akechi's phone have the Reddit app. Oh, no! Oh, that explains so much. Oh, I don't like him anymore.
I can point out the villain here! As for that torn off piece of the envelope, I don't do anything about it!
He also has the NHL app. The NHL is an American NHL? National Hockey League? What the fuck? Okay. That's actually somehow more concerning than the Reddit. I like watching people beat the shit out of each other, okay? Hockey's the best thing for that.
You claim to have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shakespeare?
Faith, 'tis so, my lord! And I would swear to have it set upon the table in my humble lodgings! Yet, 'tis clear to me now that since I returned from the Havanite fight, I have not laid eyes upon it.
Can somebody draw Goro wearing a Red Wings jersey? Can I just have that in my life? Is that what NHL means? Yeah. Akechi has Reddit on his phone. I don't even see the Reddit. I see NHL, which is deep funnier, and the Weather Channel. That's also pretty funny. They totally had a hockey date. Aww. But yeah, Goro in a Red Wings jersey. Please, somebody has to do that, right? Eventually, if this is now public knowledge.
That being the case, young lady, it would appear your testimony was...
A lie? Is that what you think? How unfair of you to think that I'm the one lying?
I beg your pardon?
I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said. And fledgling artists don't lie. And it was never to be in my address. Besides, we all know who the liar is around here.
4th row down, 3rd from the left. Let me see. 4th row down. Oh, okay, I see it, I see it. I was looking for red. I don't know what the Reddit... Somehow, I don't know what the Reddit logo looks like very well. Probably because I don't spend much time there. He also has the... Oh! Okay, Goro has an Android. I see the little Android symbol. It's a little different probably because copyright, but I see the Android symbol. Akechi is Team Android, not Team iPhone. Okay, I like him again. That's true, Miss Green. How do you explain the if that's true, Miss Green, how do you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was, without question, found in Mr. Shamsphere's room.
I don't see why I should explain.
I'm sorry?
I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is just to say what happened, that's all. It's your job to give the explanations, the proofs. You are the fledgling lawyer.
The fledgling will do his best. Can someone edit Olive's palace so that the arrow is Ibuki's pointing sprite? Please.
Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth. Well, Counselor?
I'm ready, my lord. I think. I don't actually know.
Very well, the defense will not proceed with the cross-examination of the witness.
Miss Green clearly did break into Mr. Shamspeare's room. There can be no question of that. That's how she acquired the note.
Pointing!
Those two facts are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all this. And it's not a pretty one. Need to look over everything again. Why do I still have this? How the fuck is that gonna end up being relevant? And this. The bars aren't marked on here, right? No. No, they are not. God, I'm actually gonna have to press, aren't I? I have no idea. Susato, give me a hint. Can we examine the poison bottle? I didn't even think about that, maybe. Granted, I mean, there's not much to, I don't think there's much to know. Like, we already confirmed that it was indeed strychnine in the bottle. At one point, they considered giving Shamsphere bells that jingle. I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't, because I fucking love jester hats with bells on them. If they'd given him a jester hat with bells on him, then I would have been extra mad. That is one of my things. That is one of my design quirks, sir. You can't have that one. That's mine. Bitch. This is the bottle we've been hearing so much about. The strychnine. There are a few remnants on the bottom of the bottle here. Look. You must be tempted to try it. Of course not, as long as we don't lose this trial. No! Even if we lose the trial, no! Suicide is never the answer. No! We mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Mr. Naruhodo! Make up your mind, Satoshi-san. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like I said, it's already been tested. Sholmes confirmed that, so I figured there wasn't much else we could get from here. One day, one of my VTuber accessories will be a jester hat with bells on it. It will be mine. It will be my hat. Thank you very much. Can I not literally just point her envelope and point out that the two pieces are clearly from the same thing? That seems too obvious. It's clear Miss Green did in fact break into Mr. Shamsphere's room, isn't it? That's where she found this letter. A jester hat with bells. Yes. I like jester hats. They're very cute. It's why I like Magilu so much, or part of why I like Magilu so much. Two more or less foregone conclusions that lead me to one terrifying conclusion. Terrifying? Yes, I'm afraid to say. The outcome of this cross-examination may well change how we look at this case completely. It acts like I should have it already. I guess try the obvious. Like, this feels very dumb. This feels like we're arguing in circles, but I'm gonna at least try before I resort to pressing everything, because it's already after 1 o'clock in the morning, and I've been going for over 5 hours. Almost 6 hours. Oh, they were on the bottom of his jacket? Oh, okay, that's fine. What a loser. Can't even afford proper hat bells. Fucking piece of shit.
Objection!
No, okay. Yeah. Close to the end, okay. My icon was Magilu? Yes. I like Magilu. Magilu is still my PSN icon. God, I feel so dumb right now. Like, the fact that we're going through this again seems dumb. Like, it's obvious they're the same thing, lady. I don't know what to do. I really don't want to press anything. If I have the evidence, tell me, and if I need to press something, just tell me which one. I don't feel like being here all night. Especially when it comes to pressing this poor woman. She's been through enough. I just want this done. It's like, I know what happened. Why do I have to argue these fine points of it? Because I don't think, like, the obvious thing would be to show that there's something else in the room that shows that she was in here. But I don't think Definitely nothing I've noticed. Just press unless I absolutely have to press everything, no. Which one? Spoon feed me, please. I've shed enough tears tonight. I hate pressing. I hate it. Okay, I guess we just sit here then. How are you all doing? My tea is gone. The greatest tragedy. We only have forks. Clearly the fork. Clearly the fork is evidence that she was there. Just gonna throw my frozen soccer tee? I don't do that anymore. Press 4? Okay. Okay. All I needed.
Hold it!
It seems as though it was actually delivered to Mr. Shamspears about 1 week ago.
Oh, does it?
But for some reason, it ended up in your possession. I can't think of any way that could have happened except for you breaking into Mr. Shamspears' lodgings.
Objection!
But for what reason would the witness have done that? I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless her involvement in this case has been proven in some other way, any for the pursuit of this note is meaningless.
Miss Green could have only come to be in possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shamspears' room. And yet there's no obvious reason why she would have done such a thing.
What if there was some other reason she broke into his lodgings, though?
Yes, we should pursue that idea, Mr. Naruhodo.
We're close now, I can feel it. We're so close to a breakthrough. Oh, what? Oh, come on, no! That didn't do anything at all! Oh, is that enough? Okay, okay. Alright. I was so... Again, the fact that they made me do that in the first place, I was so hyper-fixated on the envelope that I forgot. Okay, that's all she's asking. Okay, alright.
Objection!
Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle. And though the contents spilled during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. According to the defense's independent analysis, Mr. Sholmes' chemistry set, the liquid was still in the bottle. The liquid was still in the bottle was identified as strike 9. What? Strike 9? I was gonna say, I'm guessing I didn't even need to actually press, but that is partly my fault. Like I said, I was so, the fact that this part of the conversation was still going, I was so focused on the goddamn envelope part of it, that part didn't even register with me, the whole, what reason could I possibly stuck in there? That part was over my head. The very same poison that afflicted Shamspear. Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings. For one reason and one reason alone. To cover the end of that pipe that feeds the gas lamp into Mr. Shamspear's room with poison. Can this be? You broke into my room to... It may seem incredible to the court. But from the remaining clues, there's only one logical conclusion we can reach. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shamspear's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Order! Order! Counsel, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison on the end of the gas pipe with intent to kill?
Yes, my lord, there's no other way to explain the facts.
But if Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put his mouth to the pipe that very evening as expected, the attempted murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely.
That's a very good point.
Perhaps not, my lord. I beg your pardon? There was a significant police presence in the area that evening on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of an ongoing inquiry. A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoing at that time.
And yet you think so. I appreciate the fact that Von Zieks is consistent. Anytime it becomes clear what's actually going on, he very quickly shifts to being on our side. But nonetheless, this is very silly. So you acknowledge how stupid it is for criminals to do things after they've already gotten away with something, right? So why do you think Soseki would go home after getting off for the murder of Olive and then go home and kill a clown? Von Zieks, you should have known better in the first place, honey. Lord Von Zieks?
And of course, the following morning, there was more activity at Mr. Shamspeare's address.
More activity? Oh! Yes, you mean his fellow lodger, Mr. Natsume, being arrested on suspicion of murder.
That's right. And the defense has already proposed. Mr. Shamspere was meddling with the gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself. To cause the gas stove in Mr. Natsume's room to go out, thereby asphyxiating the occupant.
But once Mr. Natsume had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In the circumstances, Mr. Shamspere had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe.
His intended victim being in a prison cell. With the need to tap with the gas removed, the poison on the pipe lay dormant.
I'm shocked it was still that potent. Like, good God, that shit's powerful.
And then 3 days ago now, the situation changed again.
Right, Mr. Natsume's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end.
The trial in which the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back, but that was duly acquitted.
That resulted in Mr. Natsume returning to his lodging for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously went out. Mr. Shamspere was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison that was present on the mouth of the gas pipe had to have been put there in the victim's room for some 4 days earlier. With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this letter was all part of the plan.
What plan?
The coroner recalled the note that gave instructions to visit the Slug and Salad at 5 o'clock, and that the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for those instructions are now clear.
To ensure that a lodger would not be at home at the stated time.
To make sure I wasn't home?
Exactly. While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed.
You mean to say that letter
Was written by Miss Green, yes. And in order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared the poison all over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room.
Order! Order! What do you have to say for yourself, witness?
Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me? Everybody loves me!
Miss Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial.
So that's what's been behind all this. You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person is behind this woman's motive for the attack on the victim's life?
God.
Take that!
Duncan Ross?
That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume, took up residence in the lodgings at Mr. Garadev's, somebody else was renting a room. Mr. Duncan Ross.
I knew I'd heard the name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago. where the man died in strange circumstances at the Haunted Lodgings.
I don't know the pun. I was gonna say, I don't know the pun for this name. I assume Ross is a reference to Bob Ross, but the Duncan part, I don't know.
That does ring a vague. Oh, of course, I remember now. The young man I claim was strangled by the convict's curse or some such.
Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind. Nor was it an accident. This man died as a result of Shamspear blowing up into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room. Oh, it's another Sholmes reference? Really? Okay. It was murder. Plain and simple.
Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths. That's all people care about. If it's an interesting story, they want to know. It doesn't cross their minds that real people are involved. And once they're bored, just 1 month later, once the story's lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him.
Oh, God. Please, no.
You mean you, Duncan was?
Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé.
Fiance?
You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shamspear. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you're her sworn enemy. The murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry. Miss Green, is it not the case that in order to exact revenge on Mr. Shamspear, you speared poison over the end of the gas pipe? Again, think about it though. Like I said, she literally, she specifically did it that way. Like, it's not even necessarily just about revenge. She specifically did it that way so that if he did this again, he would die. Like, that should have been all the fucking chance he needed to still actually walk away with his life and getting away with this bullshit. Like I said, she could have lined his teacup with it or some shit. She could have done it any other way. She did it that way.
This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct in my understanding that now that you accuse both parties, counsel? Each on different counts of murder?
Attempted. Attempted on one. One attempted and one actual on the other. Yes, my lord, that's technically correct.
Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend has taken in a lungful of dubious gas that's causing his judgment to be clouded.
Did he just accuse us of having... Did he just accuse us of having brain holes? I think he just accused us of having brain holes. What?
Why would Mr. Shamspear have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man.
Yes! Yes, that's right, Mr. Eva, my liege! I've been slighted! 'Tis lies, oh lies! I defy every utterance! And you'll have to forgive me, Mr. Naruhodo, sir. But I don't intend to admit anything either.
Miss Green?
I'm sure you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel!
Oh. I don't think you're rude, honey. I get it.
Objection!
You broke into the man's room. If you didn't do it to spear poison on the pipe, then what was your reason?
I thought I'd have a look around, that's all.
I'm sorry?
You're right, I suspected him. So I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in his room. Evidence that it was him who took Duncan's life. Oh, vileness, oh villainy, oh tyranny, oh rotund of a woman!
That is another fat joke. Fuck you. You are clowned for the duration of this trial. Other than to see your breakdown, assuming you have one.
But in any case, where I leave my room, do I turn the key in the lock? That whole place is falling apart. The locks on the doors are no
not easy, because you're fine.
Will you consider your trespassing on some future we will consider your trespassing on some future occasion, but for now, tell the court what you found, what evidence your search revealed.
Well, I spotted the note I'd sent him. I'd sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it I discovered a secret hiding place.
Yes, we also discovered that hiding place.
Inside, we found a newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box inside.
Ah, yes, well, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty.
What? There was something in it?
Yes.
It was right in front of us. Holy shit. Okay, game, I'll give you that one.
This rather nice key.
What are you doing with that? Wait a minute. She was already in the room. Wait a minute. Game, if you're about to do... Oh. I'll let them prove me wrong. I'll let them try... I will try and let them prove me wrong. What are you doing with that? What the...
Every ounce of color has drained from his face.
Give it here! Give it to me now! It's mine! I inherited it!
That confirms it. I need to get this back on, especially with what I'm about. This motherfucker. This absolute fucking moron killed one person and attempted to kill another just to get them out of a room that he had a fucking spare key to! You fucking piece of goddamn shit! The fuck is wrong with you? Jesus fucking Christ! Oh my fucking god! Or a chest key? I guess it could also be a chest key. That's fair. I guess that's fair. If it's the key to his room, I swear to God. I did not think about that, admittedly.
What was that, witness? What did you say? You inherited it.
Woo! What's all this about? He inherited that key?
It was obviously important to you, so since you'd gone to such lengths to hide it, I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you! So what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care! Give it back this spirit! Give it to me!
Calm yourself, witness.
Mr. Shamspeare has tried, and in one case succeeded, to take the life of 2 lodgers. Yes, his motive for doing so is key to everything that's happened. It better be a goddamn treasure chest. I swear to fucking God, it better be a goddamn treasure chest. I swear to fucking God, I will reach through my monitor and strangle you with my fucking mind. I will find a way. Useless psychic power is about to not be useless. It's true that he appears to have no motive for the accusation. There appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shamspeare at first, but considering everything we now know, I think there is actually something that could explain it. And it's fucking stupid.
What?
Try to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal, everything we've seen and heard. Because I'm sure I just caught a glimpse of the link that runs through all these events. Livestream chat.
In that case, counsel, I demand you present the evidence in court to support your claim.
Very big mood right now, Fusion. Very big mood.
In that case, counsel, I must demand you present evidence to this court to support your claim. That's not what I fucking said at all. I'm having a goddamn stroke. I'm seeing red. Holy fucking shit.
Take that!
That's an official police report, is it not? The Selden file. How did you get a hold of that?
Selden!
The now recently deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant Mr. Natsume have one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room.
Well, yes, we know this, certainly. A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in the multiple burglaries. I see.
Thanks, Gregson. You get one. You get one. It so happens the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died.
The sum £1,000 worth of loot that he stole. Which as yet remains to be found. Ah, yes, of course. Coming back to me now.
Trick or treat.
Yeet!
Also me. Very good noodle. You get a gold star.
It's all coming back to me now. It's all written right here. £1,000 lost en route to hell. That was how the paper summed it up.
It seemed one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden trusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret. The location of the stolen loot. And perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in. Okay, alright, okay. Okay, it was a treasure chest key. Okay. Okay. I literally saw red. I was so fucking bad, you have no idea.
You mean this key is...
Mr. Shamspear, was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital offender's side when he died, were you not?
Oh, what are you talking about? This is a false charge, I tell you, a false charge!
Dispose of the body, you know how to find one? Oh no, I don't need to hide it. I want the world to know. I want the world to know I've killed him. I want the world to know when the time comes, I want the world to know that I have killed him. And they will all thank me. No jury in the world would convict me.
The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file. But a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really are.
Even if the jury did convict me, we want to be realistic, say the jury convicts me. I would be a fucking queen in prison. I would be a hero. I would be worshipped every day for the rest of my life for what I have done for the greater good of humanity. Hashtag worth it.
But even if it's true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings?
Only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot.
So it all comes out.
Yes, and having established that, all of Mr. Shamspear's subsequent actions would start to make perfect sense.
When he was let out of prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Garadeb's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's old room. However, the retired armyman was unable to offer him his accommodation of choice.
Because Selden's old room had already been let to somebody else, Mr. Duncan Ross.
Which is why Mr. Shamspear subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. And when he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room.
Because that wouldn't seem suspicious at all, right? However, a certain jittery someone had beaten him to it.
Mr. Soseki Natsume, the defendant in this case, no less.
So you decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shamspear? This time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and a various, I don't know how to use it, that says. Avaricious, that's it. Avaricious reason. To get your hands on the £1,000 of loot Left behind by some dead convict. Literally the most petty fucking motive in the entire goddamn franchise. Pettier than Matt On Guard. Pettier than any of these fucking clowns we've dealt with before. Jesus fucking Christ. Looks like I'm gonna stuff it before they stretch me neck. Listen, I want you all to have me loot. Oh. Anything stop the coppers from getting their mitts on it? I'm Selden now, I guess. Heading in the room where I was lodged and they got me. Here, this is the key to it. Take it. The key to what? The key to what? Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in hell, I guess. Or not. Shamspear. Whatever. As petty as On Guard. On Guard did it because he was a bitch baby who had a rivalry with a different actor. I'm sorry, doing stuff just for money, when there are so many other goddamn solutions to get the money, especially, like I've said, as I've outlined repeatedly. This is the most petty reason. It's mine! What did he just say? It's mine! That loot is mine! No. Mr. Shamspear, oh my god, you look slightly more repulsive than usual. Ah. It's all lies! I don't accept any of it! Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence! You can't prove I killed that fellow! Forsooth, I'm the victim here! Remember, isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen?
He's slightly more repulsive than regular clowns.
If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do! You can't arrest me! For the time being, anyway! Verily, you can't arrest the victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
I'm so close, I just need a few more hours! I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it, and I can almost taste it now! Do you really think I'd just give up?
No question in my mind now. This man guilty through and through.
He seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that however hard you press him, he'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Naruhodo.
There is a way.
Pardon?
There's one way I can finish him.
No.
He's already committed the most heinous crime to get his hands on that loot. What was LaBelle's motive again? He wanted to... sell perfume? Still somehow less petty. Which means all we need to do is find it first. A fine plan. Yeah, he wanted to kill the mayor. Or sell perfume. The gold in the sealed chamber. Oh, yeah! Oh, shit, it was, wasn't it? Oh, my God, yep. How very appropriate. How very appropriate for his ancestor. I still say this guy is more petty, again, just for the fact that he did it twice. He did the exact same ploy twice. rather than, like I said, just so many other simpler options. But hey, it's still funny. Were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed.
Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule.
If only. Maybe there was some way we could find the convict's loot quickly.
This is the final piece of this complex puzzle. But I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we may well have something that can help us find out where that loot is hidden. My lord?
Yes, Counsel?
He reproduced asexually? He reproduced asexually, or, remember, he has a rat family. His genes lived on dormant through his rat family. Like a distant cousin or something. That's all. It was a 1 in a million. It was a 1 in a million inheritance that gene should have a resurgence. It's like you remember Yusuke's whole thing in Yu Yu Hakusho, with the like 1 millionth demon blood thing. It's that, but with clown genes. The defense would like to make a proposal about the late convict's hidden loot. I believe we may already be in possession of something that could give us a clue as to its whereabouts. It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. 1 every 100 years will be a wicked one born or some shit, exactly. In the sturdy universe, rats evolved into humans? Yeah. Makes sense. We used the same technique once already, and it definitely paid off then. Just like America and Japan somehow fused into one country. Rats evolved into humans.
Very well then, Castle. Let the court hear your idea. What do you propose we can use your order to locate the hiding place of the deceased convict's hall?
I have no idea. I actually have no idea. Handprints? Why would it be the handprints? That's from him blowing in the pipe. I'm very confused why these things are still evidence. We have Selden's key, not as evidence, we don't. I actually genuinely have no idea. Take prints from the key to see where he... Chat, no! We know it's his key. Proving that he has his hands on it won't do anything. That has nothing to do with the current topic, my dude. Like modern print checking. I mean, again, we don't even have the key as evidence. It is the skin prints photo, actually? How in the fuck? How in the actual fuck does that have anything to do with it? Please explain, game.
Take that!
Explain how this makes sense.
If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shamspear's handprints on the wall of his lodgings.
That's right, my lord. Exposed as a result of the defense's independent investigation. The photo is the idea of using skin prints. Again, I don't know what we're trying to prove with the skin prints. Like I said, we're just trying to prove the fact that if Jet's right, we're trying to prove that he's on the key. What? Literally, what does that prove? Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of science by Mr. Sholmes. That is a huge leap in logic. Yeah, what the fuck? Like, that literally has nothing to do with what we were talking about. What?
Great detective, is that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such ridiculous titles?
That's nothing to do with it? Okay, alright, it's for a different reason. I think the great Bartles recognized such a little title when he hears one, Mr. Shamsphere. Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title. No one is more ridiculous than me. Look at my mask. Look at it.
Oh, 'tis Herlock Sholmes himself!
What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are filthy back street of the capital, are they not? Mr. Grim Reaper, it's been too long. I see your complexion has worsened since we last met. By the way, fuck whoever told me this case was only an hour. Somebody was like, oh, this case is really, really short. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all for lying to me.
I see your complexion has worsened since we last met.
Mr. Sholmes, he does know Lord Von Zeeks, then. Oh, yeah, enough to say something like that in any case.
Mr. Sholmes, though you may be heralded as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit.
If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us uncover vital clues in this case already.
Clues, you say? I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which we are able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities.
I would have felt fine. I mean, by now, yes. Again, after people tricked me. Now, obviously, I'm finishing it, but, like, the fact that people grossly, not even just a matter of, oh, well, it'll be this long if you do good. Because, no, I've been doing pretty good. I've been doing pretty gosh dang good, all things considered. And it's been, like, 3 hours still. Like, this is not a slight oopsie. I feel like I was deliberately misled.
Need only a small sample of something an individual has previously touched to make an indicate a solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you had been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes?
What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time?
Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. When the convict was arrested, he was living in what is now Saseki-san's room. We did a sample to help locate Selden's loot. Was it in the room? What sample will that take? Oh, God. Like, what? I don't think I can, like, who? I'm looking for his friend. What? We don't have the key at Evans. Where can we get the key? We don't have the key. So I guess it has to be in person, and apparently it's Olive. Olive has the key. I don't understand what we're trying to prove here. What the fuck is the point of this?
Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up. So, which particular person do you have in mind? From whom can we attain possession of the late convict Selden in order to create the indicator solution?
Take that!
Like, this is such a roundabout way of doing things. I can't even get... Miss Green!
Me? What do you want from me?
The key around your neck, if you please.
I'm sorry?
The key belonged to Selden. There'll be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on the surface we can use. The key had Selden's DNA. I get that, but, like, what does proving the location of the treasure have to do with anything? Like, just the fact that he clearly, truly believed it was there should be enough, right? Like, good God. This is such fucking circular bullshit logic that does not matter.
Very true!
That's the sample we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker. And find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent.
Mr. Shasby is one great to another, I assure you.
He was literally ranting and raving about how he inherited it. And talking about the fact that if he got out of this trial, he was going to find it. We don't need to find the treasure. This is dumb. The actual mechanics of this case have been fine up to this point. Like, I've been frustrated, but it's just because Olive makes me sad inside. But this point, this is dumb. I'm calling this one dumb.
I shall cover it in no more than 30 minutes.
Woo! So, Mr. Shamspear, the truth is well within our grasp now. As such, you will never get your hands on Selden's stolen wealth.
In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key.
No! Give the key to me! The detective shan't have it! It's over, asshole. No! You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt. Woo! Literally pointless. For the record, because people lowballed me on this and forced me to stay up this late, we ain't playing this game tomorrow. We're taking a break. I'm gonna need it. Fuck that last segment. Is he part Pinkie Pie? Absolutely not.
I never intended to kill the man, I just wanted to drive him out of the room! That's all!
So you continually pump toxic gas into your room. His room.
I didn't think he would actually die! I thought humans could breathe gas!
So you'd have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods. Yet after you killed the man, you still didn't move into the room.
I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused.
Why?
I was 3 months behind the rent for one thing.
No, we have the autopsy report from how he died. It was specifically asphyxiation. Nah, he didn't freeze to death.
I was 3 months behind with the rent for one thing.
Mr. Garrett really has a lot to put up with.
And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then, this Japanese man swooped in just the right moment to sign the new lease.
Poor Mr. Natsume, what unfortunate timing.
Then 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance, but it wasn't to be.
No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day.
And if I remember rightly, Mr. Sholmes spent the whole day in there reading books.
Yeah, exactly. No window on top of it. Yeah, no. One night of stuff getting pumped in constantly. That would kill anyone, and he should fucking know that. I do not buy that for 2 seconds. Oh, I didn't mean to kill him! You didn't give two shits, bruh. Literally don't care about anyone else but yourself and Treasure.
Mr. Sholmes spent the whole day in there reading books.
I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for his loot.
Which is why on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, you once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe to feed the stoves in his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you down to a deadly trap. I may or may not also break this part up into 2 parts on the YouTube. I'll be scummy. I'll take a lesson. You know what, Shamspeare? I'll take a valuable lesson from you. And be greedy by uploading this into 2 parts for delicious YouTube pennies.
William Shakespeare! How does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question.
From Shakespeare's Hamlet. Yeah, I'm so used to saying Shamster, I forget the actual name. From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1.
Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. You should not be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you have done, you absolute piece of fucking garbage. Oh,
Please don't let her get too harsh of a sentence. That's all I can say.
At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died.
The gas supply of my new lodgings is a complete disaster, you know, Olive.
The gas supply?
Yes, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason.
That's no joke.
Is he the worst character? He is probably my new least favorite character in the entire franchise, yes. I hate him. I hate him on that much of a deep personal level. Like, fuck this guy. Fuck everything he stands for. Fuck everything he has done. They say it's the convict's curse.
Oh, Duncan, please, don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is.
Alright then, if it's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place.
There are spare rooms at my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight?
No, I better not. We said we'd wait until we graduated before we told our parents, remember? Oh my fucking god.
That was the last time we ever spoke. That very night he fell victim to the gas.
Even the old man from Miles' game? Which one? There were a couple. Oh, Tree Man? I will happily take Tree Man. I would happily take Tree Man over this fucker. At least he was funny in his never-ending stupidity. At least I can make can't touch this jokes with him. I can't do anything. I got all my laughs out with this man. I have nothing left but tears. For this poor fucking woman.
If only I known it was going to happen, I'd have insisted he left that horrible room that instant. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school, but something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped Eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up the road to Grubb's Grubbery for some food, so I followed him. I set myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican.
This place is cursed! Cursed, I tell you! The ghost of that convict who used to live there! He's trying to suffocate me! I wake up in the middle of the night freezing to death because the stove has gone out. The room is full of gas and I can hardly breathe. The pipes have been checked, no problem there. It's like, I am the problem! That's what they're thinking!
But how could that be? Duncan was gone and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered. A rumor I'd heard about the gas company is going around investigating the gas installations.
A rumor? Oh, you mean...
Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes.
How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air to the pipework.
That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind. That just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident, though? Once I'd had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one of the black markets in the East End.
A black market? I was gonna say, I hope that poison wasn't actually at the hospital. They should not be keeping poison in the hospital cabinets.
I'd never been, I just heard people talk about them. You really can buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident? Or was it murder?
And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas line pipe you suspected the man of tampering with and wait. If Mr. Shamspeare was innocent, nothing would come of what you'd done. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly. Yep. Like I said, she was very smart about it.
I found out the name of the man I suspected, William Shamspeare. And then I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th.
Similarities to Macbeth? Not untrue. There are some similarities. I don't know. It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute since I've actually looked into the actual Macbeth, let alone read it. Most of the stuff I know about Macbeth comes from the Gargoyles version. You fell asleep, pal? Oh God, I envy you. I was saying, I'm actually slightly peeved that people talk me into still playing. People seem to very much kind of lowball me on how much longer this case would be. Ugh.
Don't tell anyone about this letter or the meeting place. It is of utmost importance.
Granted, the Gargoyles version of Macbeth is actually decently accurate, minus the whole Gargoyles part, but hey. You did it. Oh, you can't just attribute it to me ranting. There's no way my ranting was that long. Justified ranting, but still. Like, even then, even cutting out the ranting, this was well over the time recommended to me. Ugh.
If he did it, that would worry him enough to be... That would worry him enough to... If he did it, I knew that would worry him enough to be...
I can't read anymore.
I knew that would worry him enough, so he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked.
And of course, Mr. Shamspeare followed the instructions to the letter.
I should have stopped at the investigation segment. It would have been a shorter stream, but like it would have been better for the overall pacing. Again, that's how it's gonna end up getting broken up on YouTube anyway now, with how long this has ended up going. So hey.
It worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. So I smeared a good amount of poison that I brought around the north of the pipe. All the time praying the devil's work wouldn't be done, and that it was all just some wild fantasy.
Set a limit for this game, 4 to 5 hours. I kind of agree after this. Next case will be good for me, probably, but not tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't know if I'll just take the night off. I don't know if I'll move the group watch to Sunday. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I definitely can't take more of this game tomorrow. I need a day. Or 2.
Actually, no.
24-hour streams? I mean, give it time. I do still want to do that DMC death stream. I do still want to do that DMC 2. I still want to do the DMC 2 test stream. That's probably not going to take 24 hours. It'll take quite a while. Here's the thing, though. I'm going to be prepared for that. Like, that's going to be on a day when I know that I've made sure to have plenty of sleep. And I'm mentally prepared to go as long as it takes.
I was prepared for trouble, but not for this.
Oh, that time playing the devil's work would be done, and that the culprit would get his just desserts.
No, we're worried about ending it on perfect timings. Well, like I said, less perfect timings and more just if I know the trial was still like normal trial amount. People kept telling me how short this one was, and I guess it kind of is. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is still a trial too, so I mean, it made sense. Like I just wish the investigation would have been a perfect stopping point. Again, that's how it's gonna end up getting broken now anyway. I should have stopped there after it took the piss out of me with all the crying the first time.
3 days ago, when you were first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward.
I'm guessing you mean going forward. Like I said, going forward, just same thing. Just next time if I feel like something is a natural stopping point, then I'll stop there. Next time I'll go with my gut.
Yes, my lord!
I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that would subsequently find lurking behind the scenes. This has been a long road, my ponies, friend.
Yes, indeed.
And one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you. Stop flirting, you two! Nevertheless, we've reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green.
Yes, my lord?
You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom. As punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shakespeare.
Yes, I know.
And you, Mr. Shakespeare, you'll be tried for the murder of Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Shoseki Natsume here present.
She looks very steadfast. I'm guessing you're okay with this? I'm guessing you're okay with some lighter jail time if it means that this guy goes down for good. Night help. You have a good one. It's really high quality. I'll probably hold off tonight just because I'm so exhausted mentally at this point. But I will check it out at some point. I'll wait and check it out on stream next time. Maybe I'll bookmark it and have it hold on it for next week.
Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes.
Yesterday at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from
from ending your life drinking what was left in the poison bottle?
I don't know. The costumes aren't that silly in my opinion. Like maybe Sholmes is. We should probably put Sholmes back in his default, but I don't know. I kind of like I really like Susato and Ryunosuke's, and I don't think they're all that silly looking. It's not like having it's not like Athena in the maid costume. That time you left Athena in the maid costume for the final trial of Spirit of Justice. They're definitely not as inappropriate as that. Besides, like I said, maybe Sholmes. It's a little hard to take Sholmes seriously, but ahead, it's always hard to take Sholmes seriously.
I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose.
Yeah, Sholmes, baby. Sholmes, we could just say that, okay, he had one of his Sholmes days where he felt the need to dress like this, but like I said, I genuinely think theirs look really good.
That's a hard question to answer. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems.
You left Phoenix in the tea gray outfit for the civil trial and forgot about it. Good. Well, personally, I'm glad if you're being here, Miss Green.
Ooh.
I'd like to believe. I mean, we have already set up the continuity of him doing this for an anime convention in a couple of months, so it would make sense for him to still be in it in the next trial. I don't know how serious that one's gonna be, but yeah, if we need to change it back later, sure. Oh, it actually does. Mono, you're not wrong. Yeah, it's not the same shade of blue. It's more of a teal. But you're actually right. I can see that. Yeah, it kind of gives him Phoenix's color scheme. That's nice. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but that is kind of neat. I'd like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shamspear didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like this fucker deserves to rot, but he can do it in a prison cell. Now that the actual truth is out, and this way she gets off with a lighter sentence, hopefully. Oh.
Because of you, I chose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last.
Oh. Honey.
Really, I can't thank you enough.
Oh. Yeah, she's content. She's content to do her times just so long as the fucking truth came out, yeah. Potentially best culprit, I would argue so. Oh, thank God. Oh, Miss Green.
Mr. Soseki Natsume.
Yes, my lord! This is definitely, yeah, but MD made the comparison earlier. This is right up there with the Orca case in terms of being all over the place. Just this making me laugh at this fucking clown for hours on end, and then turning into this actual fucking tragedy. I'm crying. Like, I can't stress this enough. This is a good case. It's good that the game made me. It's good that the game made me hate a man that much. Remember we saw him last game and it had no point whatsoever in the context of that first game? Good times. Better than these.
The court declares you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I would like to call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty.
We are in full agreement, my lord.
Yeah, Marlon was one of the more sympathetic ones as well, yeah. And, like, she's even more sympathetic than him. God damn.
Ugh. In that case, I hereby declare the defendant not guilty!
Ignore the fact that two of the jury still have the black background. Don't worry about it. I guess you could say it was a Shakespearean tragedy. I love those. Hurts so good.
Court is adjourned!
You forgot about Natsume Pump Rude. I hope we keep the bee lady. I don't know. Like, even though she did end up also kind of being a witness, her her design seemed very elaborate. So I kind of hope we see her again later. She wanted us, I mean, she said she wants us to be the new lawyer for the company, right? So maybe they'll get up to some shit later on. I'd be down for that. I like her a lot.
Oh yes, at last! Divine justice duly done!
Divine justice? My dear fellow, if that were divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache, if there were any.
No! This has nothing to do with my mustache! I like my mustache!
Some say the luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes.
What kind of physical prowess? Thank God we're back to just making gay jokes. I missed this.
Look, I've seen him as Hunter Esquire once again! Once again! You saved me from doom!
I'm very happy to have been able to help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. Second in almost as many days.
I was first acquitted with a gained affection for English literature whilst on in our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land of the poor fruit up from the literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books.
You've had such a difficult time, haven't you?
But a week ago now, I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not?
You did. I've seen more life this entire week than in all my years today. And for the first time, I feel I begin to see the true face of English that's been so far hiding from me from behind the wall of fog.
I was gonna say, I am confused, I will admit. I still don't get, like, we were told to remember this case. I don't actually get how this case ties into the larger picture with all the conspiracy bullshit. Like, I thought for sure there was gonna be something with that. Again, before we realized Olive was the killer, I was hoping that's how she would tie into stuff. That she would end up being important later on somehow. But no, there's nothing like that, unless, I guess, Selden. Depending on what the fuck Selden was actually in jail for specifically, I guess he could have been involved with stuff. Maybe he's the connection.
My dear fellow, there's something special about true face of the English, as you put it.
Or Queen Bee. Or Queen Bee could be important as well, yeah.
Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are few genuine differences.
Yes, I think you're right. Fuck racism. I'm finally starting to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live.
Well said. I'm gonna feel the same way. We ended racism. We did it. Iris is gonna be so proud. We ended it so that she didn't have to.
I've made a decision too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan.
You said that yesterday. You had already decided this before retcons happened. What?
Just when we become friends here in England. What a terrible shame.
I know, this does tug at my heartstrings, it really does. But I've decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own.
And then another dead body drops in front of him on his way outside of the courthouse.
Oh, come on! A novel of sorts, I suppose.
Oh my, you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsume? How wonderful.
Oh, well, no, I mean, I would presume to call it literature.
Why not? Why, that is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache.
I suppose you're right, yes. It will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur.
I, for one, would love to read your work.
Well, all things considered, that may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious. From a battle with the Reaper.
Ah, that's very true. Can we count him as Maya's ancestor? He's been in jail so many times. It's a stretch, but they have the same hair color. Maybe.
There's no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor.
The desire to return to the post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is what I quite understand.
My goodness, yes, faced with such a terrifying prospect? Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure.
I mean, I just wanted to go home, but when you put it like that way, I just shit my pants. Thanks, guys. But that's not why I'm leaving. I mean it. Objection! Oh, that's fun to do. I see why you like doing that so much.
That was the case we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. So Seki-san didn't need to return to Japan and submitted a report to both cases about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikatomo was prompted to visit the scholar. Barely any time later, Susato-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well. On the back of the telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial on the following day. The day we uncovered the loot hidden by the now deceased convict in his former lodgings. Well, we actually did go back there and get it? I was gonna say, I would think that would be for the authorities. Wait, what? Was the cat the treasure? I bet the cat was the treasure.
Well done, Mr. Sholmes. How simply marvelous of you to uncover the secret hiding place in just one day.
Yeah, that's something else people don't think about when they give these time estimates. All this post-case shit. Like, good God. Yeah, I don't know who, like, there were a couple people, I can't even be mad at one specific person. There were a couple people saying, oh, this one's short. Oh, this one will only take you, like, another hour. Like, good God. Wasn't it supposed to take 30? Yeah. What he said. For the record, once again, just gonna point out, I was not reading that. I was looking at chat. I've gotta fucking wrap it up now. Nothing, JC. Psychic powers, again, don't worry about it. This was supposed to take 30 minutes!
As I believe I told you, my dear fellow, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson?
Gracie's been happily munching an agreement on this whole time, you know, Hurley? Happily. I think perhaps humorlessly might be closer to the truth.
So, it transpires the man fashioned a hiding place in the ceiling.
And what's in it? What exactly is the loot?
Let us look then, if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's hall.
It was in the ceiling? It was in the ceiling. Another way Shamsper could have gotten the treasure without killing people. Dig a hole, bitch! What the... That is a collar with blood on it. We're going to clean off the blood and give it to Wagahai. A collar? It's huge, though! Also B.
Look at all the gemstones in it. I can see what was claimed to be worth 1,000 pounds. Perhaps I could have it as a belt.
Is it that? I don't think it's that big.
Have you noticed on the inside here? There's some dark stains.
Doggo is the key to all this. Baskerville! How to Baskerville! Case closed! You don't think! We don't know that yet. We don't know that yet. This is before that. You guys don't, they don't know that yet. I know that now. They could be blood, don't you think? There's quite a lot of it. Or B for blood.
On second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as a belt.
You were joking, but okay. No, that makes sense. Nothing else in this game connects to everything else. That's literally the only thing that's happened that could be a connection. B for bad hair guy. Case closed.
Then, of course, there's this emblem here. A large letter B and a small crown.
What does it signify, you think?
Oh, I hadn't noticed that.
What happened in Baskerville? We have no idea. We have literally no idea what the fuck that's about. All we know is that Iris wrote a book it was a case. It has something to do with a case. Iris wrote a book on it and called it The Hound of Baskersville. Susato somehow read the book and then got really awkward when we found out that she read it because she shouldn't have known about it, apparently. And that's it. We don't know any of the actual details of what the fuck happened there. That was case 5 of the last game. I have no idea what the fuck this means, but that's gotta be it. Nothing else makes sense. Besides bad hair. It could be bad hair.
I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know? Where could it have been?
And I know it's also apparently an actual home story, but I've never read that home story, so I don't know. I don't know anything about the actual context. That's enough of that, I think. Yeah, he recognizes it. Yep, it's that. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes? I don't like his serious face. It makes my stomach feel funny. All the car was drained from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this. Aren't you? It could be valuable evidence after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key. Yes. Get your grubby hands off that, you lot. Hand it over. Now! I'd never seen a collar that large before. And all those jewels certainly look to be extremely valuable. But that's not what stood out the most to me. At least not once I noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar. Those stains. Could they really have been blued? It's always blued.
Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it?
Iris, no TV for a week. Nothing about that second half was funny, honey.
It's all buttoned up now.
You look awful pleased with yourself, Iris.
I am, because I was starting to wonder if I could use what I can use as the basis of this month's story in the magazine.
Maybe she is the mastermind. We gotta keep an eye on her. She only watched the first half. Oh, God. Poor girl.
But this case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating.
You're talking about the latest installment of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I presume. And then she was forbidden to talk. And then she was forbidden to talk about this one as well. And that's why, because we found that fucking collar at the end. Okay, so whatever the Hound of Baskerville is, it's bad news.
The mystery of the knife in the mist and the mustache man in the convict's curse, perhaps. I could make it a 2-part story.
Oh, I can't wait.
A word, please, Iris.
Yeah, what is it, Hurley?
I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question.
What? Why not? It's a great case.
Then I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your 2 titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear?
Yes.
And so it was that the second of Souseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity. Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again.
Sholmes acting serious, not clickbait. I was gonna say, I like that she knows him well enough to realize he's being serious. Like, he rarely gives her orders. She wears the pants of that family.
With an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
Oh, that's the thing they kept building up to in the last game, yeah. Alrighty. Okay, it's all coming together. Oof. Ayy. We did it! Almost 7 hours. The anime convention! The anime convention! Oh, fuck! Okay, yeah, we gotta keep Shums in that outfit. we gotta keep Shums in that outfit for one more case now. We have to. Anime Expo 1897. Fuck yeah! Useless ass psychic power. Sorry, I had to do it all. Oh my god, that was pretty good. It was great. I cannot stress this enough. Like, that, it is great. I just wish that I had not been misled on the length. And also, just wish that I wasn't such a bitch baby. And that all the shit with Olive didn't cut as deep as it did, but just genuinely, oof. Just oof. One more case with that outfit. One more case with that outfit. We have to now. It's part of the lore. It's time for the anime convention. I'm gonna preemptively write down Anime Expo 1897 and use that for next week. God, I would rate some. I do want to start rating people more regularly, Fusion, but like I said, it's 2:30. I woke up pretty early today. I'm gonna take a shower, maybe get another snack and pass out. Hopefully. Alrighty. Again. Very, very good case. Besides, like I said, that last point was still kind of dumb. But, generally speaking, thanks for Steam. You're very welcome, Key, right? Thank you for joining us. Generally speaking, very good. Olive is best girl. Olive is best culprit. I hope that clown dies in his sleep on his first night in jail. You know what? That's not true. That's too good for him. Never mind. C point A, B, C, D, E, so on. All the gruesome methods of killing I've already described. I don't feel like repeating it. I'm good. Alrighty. I'm gonna take a break tomorrow from this because this one was so exhausting. Like I said, just I need to not think about it for a couple days so I can stop crying over Olive. We'll be back next Friday though. Go to the anime convention. All will be well. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do tomorrow. I might go ahead and ask in the Discord about moving the group watch to tomorrow because people had special concerns about this anyway. The fact that Monday is Labor Day, people were kind of worried about like other people's scheduling not wanting like with it because people have like cookouts and shit or whatever. So maybe I'll ask in the theater room about moving it to then, and then assuming that happens, then I guess we'll get back to No More Heroes on Monday. Finish up the first one and start the second one. Alrighty. Finish No More Heroes. Well, like I said, I'll move them. Like, I'm not gonna double up. Yeah. Or not even that. Like I said, again, one's not gonna take that long. I didn't want to do one today just because I didn't want to be on a crunch time for it to get to this game or whatever. Or yesterday, rather. But, like, one's not gonna take much longer to finish. Like, maybe an hour or so, if even. So, yeah, like, whatever ends up happening, if I end one early enough, I'll just go right into two. I don't give a crap. But, alright. We'll workshop it. It's fine. We're all fine here. Now, I'm gonna go pass out. Thank you all for coming out. Special thanks to I Need Professional Help and all the Go-Kart and above patrons. If you want to help support Cloud Murder, which is justified 99% of the time, check out links in the description. Love you guys. Nighty-night. I'll deserve better.